I could just die any minute. Going for a ride down the side. PCH, country limit. I don't need a guide, follow lights. Take me where I wanna visit. Are you alive? I'll just breathe in. Cause I've been living life right like I could just die any minute. Going for a ride down the side. PCH, country limit. I don't need a guide, follow lights. Take me where I wanna visit. Are you alive? I'll just breathe in. Flashing red lights, driving at night. Windowless ride, feeling alive. Nothing in sight, forever in flight. Follow those lines, we'll make it this time. Blurry street lights, work as a guide to memories that we're making tonight. Oh yeah, we'll make it tonight. Yeah. I'll do anything that I feel like I wanna do. I'm living life like I got nothing. Chase to the sundown. We on the chase to the sun up. What's up? Leading the line when we run up. Chasing, chasing, chasing. Every day we chasing, chasing, chasing. No time to be wasted. Look, faking the lead, we don't follow. We need it now, not tomorrow. Don't care what they say, not changing the pace. Working too hard to be last in the race. So much time in the day and it ain't none to waste. Working this hard to be one of the greats. Whatever it takes, put that on the plate. Life is a gamble, we raising the stakes. Moving the bar up so high. Been on our grind, for life. Bringing the light, you just so bright. We shining, platinum sound cool, but we tryna reach diamond. Hard work pays off, that's perfect timing. Changing the world with this rhyming, it's priceless. We got the nicest by putting the time in. Can't be the greatest, I'm not even trying. What now? We on the chase to the sundown. We on the chase to the sun up. What's up? Leading the line when we run up. Chasing, chasing, chasing. Every day we chasing, chasing, chasing. No time to be wasted. What now? We on the chase to the sun up. What's up? Leading the line when we run up. What now? We on the chase to the sun up. What's up? Leading the line when we run up.
Hello? Man, I lost track of time. I apologize, Mama. Go ahead and eat without me. I'm still on the grind.
I ain't touching home base by dinner time. All I can see is the finish line. Started, I gotta finish mine. It's get it time, anytime, hella long. I've been in line, I didn't mind it all. Wake and bake, won't take a break at all. That's on my word, my boss. Naming lights, gon' have to pay me twice or pay me no mind, and I don't mind it all. My grind is grit, I am my job to inspire. I'm right behind go to a line that's been fired by a chain for a time. I ain't get hired, second wind kicked in, I probably won't get tired. Kevin Gates or Kevin Bacon, only 6 degrees of separation between me and the next level of elevation. Perseverance, the art of dedication.
What now? We on the chase to the sundown. We on the chase to the sun up. What's up? Leading the line when we run up. Chasing, chasing, chasing. Every day we chasing, chasing, chasing. No time to be wasted.
Welcome in, everybody. How are we doing? It is our favorite Sunday program. So, Barcelona round 6, presented by Infinite Racing League, partnered with Coach Dave Academy there on the screen. Let's talk a little bit about what we have in store for ourselves here tonight. I was perusing our championship standings here coming into round 6 tonight, and oh my, it is very close. There is a handful of drivers battling it out for this championship here currently as we come into round 6. So potentially one of those drivers not going to be on the track here tonight, which could end his run for that championship and title defense here in Spain. So we're going to have a 15-minute qualifying run here to set our grid to start this race, and it'll be followed up with a 70-minute race. 1 hour and 10 minutes will go on the clock, and these drivers will battle it out for well, the top of the podium at the end of the night. And well, we'll have to see how it all shapes out here. I can see what's happening on track as the drivers are getting that final testing in right now, and I think we're in for a pretty good battle by the looks of things here. But let's talk about our racetrack just a little bit here. Barcelona, absolute doozy of a racetrack here. On the graphic in the screen in front of you there, you can see in the very bottom, just right of the center of the screen, is a little blue circle with an arrow pointing to the left direction. That's the direction we're going to be heading around this racetrack here today. That takes us down a very long straightaway heading in the left direction to turn number 1 and 2. It's an S sector, and we call it ELF. From there, we come out of there with a fairly decent amount of speed, and then we take a very long, sweeping right-hand corner that we call Renault, and you can get on the power quite a bit earlier around this corner than you would think. It really comes down to driver comfort and the car set up around turn number 3. From there, we head down a tiny little straight, go underneath a bridge here, and that takes us into a much harder hairpin called Repsol corner number 4. Now, as we head towards the infield part of the racetrack on the left-hand side here, that takes us down into the red 4 on the screen, turn number 5, and we call that seat. From there, it takes us into a little kink, turn number 6, into a hard left-hand 90-degree corner number 7. You got to be very careful there. You don't want to get that corner wrong. You come uphill through a little S sector there, turn number 8, and then back up a little straight to the top center of the map. And there we head into turn number 9. Camps a fairly fast sweeping corner. You got to be very careful when you're going to choose to get on your throttle there, because you'll come out very wide and you'll be looked at by race control for what we like to call track limits here. So the drivers only have so many track limit warnings before race control will give us a drive-through penalty for that. So we head down a long straightaway from there, and that takes us in to turn number 10, the red 7 on the screen there, La Caixa. Very tough corner. It's a hard braking zone here, coming from very high rate of speed down into a very hard braking zone. Second, first degree gear for some of the, depending on the car you're coming around the corner here. And we're doing a solid 220, 230 degree tight radius corner, heading into a little chicane in turn 11 there, and then around another hairpin sweeping corner, Sabadell, turn number 12, and then that takes us into Europe car, turn number 9, which leads us into the famous chicane here at Barcelona, and takes us around our final corner here, corner number 16, New Holland, and then we do it all over again. It's a 2.89 mile circuit, 4.6 kilometers. It has 16 right and left hand turns. It's a tarmac surface. It is a real world circuit and has an elevation change of just under 100 feet. So just a little bit of information about Barcelona, since we have this beautiful track map available to us, and of course compliment to Special Administrations Administrator here at GT45 Gaming, Miss Devia. So much love for that great information about our racetrack here tonight. Let's get that off the screen here now so we can see what's happening in behind us. Alright, a little bit of game sound to go with what we're looking at here. How's it going, John? We appreciate you, my dude. Hope everything is well. So we have, well, we can see it on, well, we cannot see it on the clock in front of us because it's probably a little teeny tiny, but just under 4 minutes left in free practice here, and we have Adreno Luke right now in that Lamborghini back on track here this week. We're just going to kind of cycle through, see who we got kicking around track here tonight. We got Rigo back here as well. He's also in the Lamborghini. We got JDR back in the Lamborghini, and the production crew really showing some love to Lamborghini right now. We've got Delta Mike. He's in that Aston Martin. And a big grid here tonight. That's number 26 on the grid there, so this is going to be a juicy race. We've got GLR Seal in the Porsche here at 12th right now. We've got Vieira 15th in practice. He's in that Ferrari. We've got Fluka in the Ferrari here, currently 6th in free practice as well. We've got Edward currently 18th fastest in free practice here in the Ferrari. Lots of Ferraris and McLarens on the racetrack here. We've got PP Adcast in 10th place right now in free practice in a Ferrari here as well. Oh, we got Lamine in a Ferrari, and well, that Ferrari's not looking so pretty at the moment here. You can see that driver's just going to bring it back into pit lane there. We got Tango 2 coming out. He's also in Ferrari. We've got Nacho here in Ferrari. A whole lot of Ferraris. We got GLR Racer also in Ferrari. Choco in the Ferrari. We've got Daughtry here in Ferrari as well. We've got Rapid Duck here in McLaren. We've got Johnny B in the McLaren. We've got Cletus in the McLaren. Irish Jerry in a McLaren. All right, we got Dan here in the McLaren as well. We've got McCrank here in McLaren, new driver, as well as Daughtry coming into the series here. So this is GT3 Summer Series 2. Thanks, man. Hope you're doing well. I'm doing fantastic, my guy. I mean, it's race night. Of course we're good. All right, so it's Rock Lee here, another new face here tonight as well. Currently 13th fastest in free practice. We got what car was that? McLaren there for that driver as well. We got Hi My Name Is in the McLaren here. Been putting in some good paces here lately. We got Josh Hart right now currently fastest in free practice. We got Nolander coming in with that thumbs up. Much love, my dude. We appreciate you. And currently sitting 4th in the championship standings overall as well, only behind our leader Johnny B by about 5 points, I believe it is. It might be 4. So it is that close in the championship standings right now. MX Bloxham currently sitting 2nd in the standings, 2 points behind Johnny B, and I believe it's Rapid Duck sitting in 3rd place, just 2 points in behind MX Bloxham. So a handful of points separating 1st through 6th place here in the championship standings right now. And we did say there's a handful of drivers here that can get a foothold on this thing here tonight, so we'll have to see how it all plays out. Howdy, my guy. Howdy. Hey, we're well. I hope you're well, my dude. Hope you're feeling better. All right, we got JP here, and 4th right now on the racetrack in that Lamborghini. Adrena's dropped down a spot here in free practice, and we got just under a minute left here, so we'll get prepared, get ready to go to qualifying conditions here. Oh, wrong button. Alright, so how big is our grid here today? It is a 27 of 30 car field, ladies and gentlemen. That's right, you heard me correctly. 27 of 30 cars are going to be on this grid tonight. Almost a full load of GT3 drivers here today. Ooh, biggest grid of the season right here. I think we're in for a doozy. We got Kelty coming up with that thumbs up on the stream. How are you doing, my guy? We see you all over there on YouTube as well. We appreciate you. I hope everybody is ready for a race here tonight, because with 27 drivers on track, it's going to be a doozy. Oh, yes. Leandro coming in with that heart on the stream as well. Much love, my guy. Hope you're doing fantastic as always. That's not the one we wanted. That's the button we wanted. Howdy, howdy, sup. Alright, we're just getting ready to do some qualifying here, so we can see 2.5 minutes remaining on the max time there in the front of the screen, middle of the screen. And once that timer runs out, we'll be under qualifying conditions. So we'll see a 15-minute qualifier here today, and then it's going to be a 70-minute race, 1 hour, 10-minute race here on the racetrack today. And weather is based off of real-time weather. So the weather was set, I believe, yesterday morning for the server. So these drivers are running on that weather setting, and it's very hot on the racetrack, 29 degrees Celsius right now. Track temperature is 30 degrees. It is optimum right now, the racetrack as well. So drivers best get their best qualifying runs in while they can here, while this track is still in optimal condition. So we should see some pretty quick times here. What to expect around Barcelona, I couldn't tell you here on ACC. I'm not sure what we're going to see, but we're about to find out. And it's going to be 27 of these drivers testing their might here. It's going to be very congested. It's going to be very busy around the racetrack, and there's going to be a lot for everybody to have to navigate here tonight, but it should be good. Migraine is gone, so I'm feeling way better. I much prefer coming home from work and barely being able to move. Facts of life right there, Nolander. I feel you, my guy. I feel you loud and clear on that. All right, there we go. Qualifying is officially underway.
Green light, go, go, go.
Let's get us on a driver here, shall we? Come on. There we go. We got, we want to get on one. We got Rapid Duck out here. I believe he's going to be the first driver out as well, so we'll sit with Rapid Duck here while he takes his outlap around Barcelona to Catalunya, and this is with the chicane. It's the classic layout here tonight for this 70-minute race. Now, pit stop requirements here, ladies and gentlemen. It is a 2 mandatory pit stop requirement tonight, so we'll see these drivers have to make 2 pit stops. Whether or not they choose to take tires or fuel is entirely up to them. So we'll have to wait and see how all of those strategies work out for everybody. Just setting up and do some racing of sorts myself, but I got to spin a few up. Hey, gotta do what you gotta do, my dude. You gotta do what you gotta do. Alright, so Rapid Duck here, he is currently sitting third, I believe, in the championship standings right now, sitting there with, I think it is 88 championship points, sitting only 4 points behind current championship points leader Johnny B, who lost his title to teammate MX Bloxham in the Summer Series 1, so Johnny B looking to take that back from his teammate here in Summer Series 2 and has a 2-point foothold on that title at the moment here with 3 rounds remaining, and that is including tonight's race. Rapid, as in ungale, very quick, very rapid Duke. I talk fast, I'm sorry. I can't help it sometimes. As we're just coming through the chicane here, it looks like it's Johnny B out and just in behind him there as well. It could be Josh Hart, maybe we see him behind, but we're going to be flying lap here with Rapid Duck as we head towards corners 1 and 2. Elf here, as we remember on the track map just a little bit earlier here. And let's see what he's got here for his first flying lap. Taking a big wide entry into that first S here, gonna roll it out here, use all of that racetrack. And then this here, Renault, we got to be, again, you can get on the power quite a bit earlier than you'd think here, and you just got to monitor your throttle input to make sure you don't float too wide, get out to the marbles, obviously. From there, that takes us into Repsol, very harder, tighter hairpin here, but you still carry a decent amount of speed through there. And then that takes us into Seat, which is our next corner right here. Hard little left-hand 90-degree corner, and then that takes us up in through a uphill chicane leading into campus. So again, a sweeping corner here, so we're going to come into the chicane here. It's a little tricky. You cannot take this full out. You got to watch your track limits here. You can use the curbing, but you got to be careful how much of that curbing you use. That takes us into campus here. This is high-speed sweeper leading up to the straightaway, the back straight here, leading into location. This is a very tight hairpin corner here that goes about 220 degrees around the racetrack, I figure, and hard braking zone here. Got to be very patient getting back onto the throttle, and then that takes us into an immediate chicane heading back uphill, and that leads us up into Europe car heading out of Sabadell right here. Gonna take it nice and wide, get lined up, get ready for the chicane entry here. This is Europe car coming through. And then we've got the chicane. Got to get right back over to the racetrack, get the car geared down, get it slowed down, get ready to make your entry. You want to watch those sausage curbs. They'll toss these cars around like potatoes. And then a nice and good tight line through New Holland here. And let's see what Rapid Duck has in store for us here as he comes through for the very first time around. It's a 145 flat there from Rapid Duck. Johnny B's going to sit there in second place for the time being, and that lap was at 45.4, so about 4/10 of a second off currently. Cadis comes through here. He's going to hold third place as he comes across the line. Let's sit with Irish Jerry here as he's coming through the chicane now as well, and he's looking pretty good here, so hopefully he's got a nice good flying lap going here for himself. Where's that timer at? Oh, it's going to be a 49 there, so it's going to stay in 9th place here for the time being as he comes across. Oh, drops to 10 there right away as another driver goes through. And we got Dan here currently sitting 5th fastest. We've got McCrank here that just came through. He's currently 15th on the racetrack. We got one driver opting just to sit in pit lane for the time being. We got Hi My Name Is here in 22nd position for the time being, but that's about to change potentially as he comes across here. And he actually drops down into 23rd there. So it is Josh Hart now in pole position, and what is that time? It's a 44.702, so 3/10 of a second faster than Rapid Duck that we followed there in the first lap. Philip Young here, our 27th driver, and does he have a lap yet? He does not have a flying lap yet, so this is his first flying lap of qualifying. Got JP up into 7th position here, very quick and free practice as well, so keeping our eye on that neon blue and black Lamborghini on the racetrack here today. We got Adrena here and swinging side to side, just getting some heat in those tires, so not quite setting up for that flying lap here, but the looks of it, we got Rigo here in 10th place. Looking pretty solid here out of 27 drivers so far. We got JDR in 22nd position, and in that nice green and red tinted Lamborghini here today. Got side-by-side action going on here with Delta, and I'm not sure, I think that's Nedward up in front there, and Edward returning back, and Delta Mike returning back from last week as well, so we love to see that. We got Seal here in 9th place right now in the Porsche as he comes across. Doesn't improve that time around. actually does improve, and that's just where he currently sits on the racetrack. So yellow flag up in front there. Vieira here currently sitting in 18th position. This driver's looking very good here. I think sitting 8th overall in the championship standings. It actually could be 6th if I'm not mistaken. Without him sitting right in front of me, I'm just going off memory here as I was perusing him earlier today. We've got Fluka here in 7th position, and somewhere up in that points battle as well. It's in this driver's real names as well, so I'm not sure which gaming ID goes with which real name, in a sense either. So I'm kind of just taking a swing in the dark there. We got PP Acast here in 10th position. We've got Lamine here currently sitting in 19th. We got Daughtry here currently sitting in 27th as well. We've got Tango in 8th place, Rapid Duck 3rd, Yakast in 10th, and Philip Young now in 18th. So his first flying lap was a decent one there, put him up in about the mid-pack. Nacho here in 25th place, and a 151.3 was his last time around. GLR Racer here in 13th position right now, looking a little neat and tidy. And do we have game sound? I have not checked. Yes, we do. Fantastic. Joko, there he is, in 14th position. We haven't seen this driver here yet qualifying. We still have just under 8 minutes remaining, so lots of time for these drivers to get a nice good lap in here. And ideally you want some clean air and a little bit of space, so you don't have to fight dirty air or slipstream or anything like that. You just want to be able to run a good, clean, efficient lap. So, but with 27 cars on the racetrack, it gets a little tough to find that space at times. We got Daughtry there in 27th. We got Rapid Duck here sitting in 3rd place currently right now, and this is exactly where he sits in the championship standings, if I'm not mistaken, as well. Just 4 points behind Johnny B, coming in with the championship points lead at 92 points, I believe it is, for Johnny B right now. Cletus in 5th place, looking pretty strong in that Ferrari all season. He decides to go on a paint scheme change here, and cars are looking pretty sharp here. We've got Irish Jerry in 19th, just chilling in pit lane there. We've got Dan here in 6th place, so dropped 1 position since earlier on. He was in 5th at one point there. 145.8 is his best lap here right now on the racetrack, so about a second, a little over off of our pole sitter currently. McCrank here in 17th. Got the Sky McLaren out on track here today. Got Rock Lee here, new driver to the series, as far as I remember here anyway, and he's currently sitting in 15th as he comes across the start-finish line there, so a good solid lap from him that time around. Hi, my name is currently sitting in 12th place, and he's been looking very racy here early on, or in the latter part of the season, pardon me, as we start getting towards, well, at the championship end. Let's go. Good luck, everyone. Be sure to give a like to the channel. Thanks, Ghost. Hey, we appreciate you, Rigo. Enjoy the race. Good luck tonight, my guy. All right, rock and roll in 13th here. We see him lose a position as he's on the racetrack. We're following him here. Let's get to Josh Hart here, who's currently now sitting in 2nd place as a 44.6, so it's an improvement on what was his pole position lap, and I'm assuming it's Johnny B now sitting in pole position up in front of these two. What that time is, I'm not sure. We'll have to wait and see. We got Pixel of Chaos in 27th position. We got Philip Young here in 24th. JP is now up in the 4th place here in that Lamborghini, and we did say he looked quite quick in free practice today. We've got Adrena here in 13th position. We've got Rigo, the man himself, right there in 15th. Wishing everybody good luck in YouTube there. We've got JDR in 21st position. Delta Mike is holding strong here in 26th, and the Aston Martin didn't undergo a very good update, apparently, from what I hear. We've got Seal in 9th place. We've got Vieira in 19th position, and a little off pace from what we've been seeing from that driver here so far this season. So maybe just not liking the track or struggling with the track, perhaps. Fluke is up into 5th, was in 7th for a while there, 45.7. So the times are very tight from about 4th through 10th place here right now. It looks like 47.06 here in 16th. And then there's a little bit of a fall off in the back part of the pack here. We got PP Cassie's at 46.1, and he just broke track limit there, so that time is invalidated as he comes around. Lamine's in 25th right now. 150.5 is Lamine's best lap here so far. We've got Tango 2 here in 12th position, and Tango 2 is always looking pretty solid on the racetrack. Rapid Duck just in behind him there. Nacho's brought it into pit lane. We've got Racer here in 13th. Choco's in 18th. Daughtry up into 10th place here. So first time here in the series for this driver as well. So welcome into the series. And coming in representing Rockefeller Racing here is Mr. Daughtry. So rocking and rolling here. We've got Rapid Duck here in 3rd place. And you see a couple cars just getting out of the way, some hot traffic here. There he is, Johnny B is our pole sitter. I knew eventually they'd put us on him. And that time is a 1:44.477, so he's about a tenth and a half faster than Josh Hart, currently sitting in 2nd place. Last time, of course, we've seen that time gap difference between the two drivers. So not a lot of time separating these drivers. So I think we're in for, well, what we've seen so far in the last couple of weeks here from Infinite Racing League is nose-to-tail racing. Between 3 or 4 drivers probably for a large part of the race, but with the 2 mandatory pit stops here, it's going to be interesting to see if that separates the pack or if it tightens the pack up, what the strategies from each driver is going to be, if they choose to take tires, if they split their fuel up between those 2 stops. It's going to be really interesting to see how these drivers play all the strategy out here. Of course, race start with 27 cars on the racetrack is going to potentially change some pit stop strategies for some of the drivers here as well, because, well, we always just see those early on incidents with those drivers racing hard on those cold racing tires. Sometimes they just get it wrong. We got Daughtry and Dan coming through here. Pardon me, coming through here in 7th place right now. Let's see if he improves on that lap. He is green a little bit there, and it was good enough for 6th place that time around. And we got 2 minutes and 40 seconds remaining here in qualifying, so about enough time for another lap. 2 laps for some of these drivers. Crank coming through here is in 19th. Let's sit with Crank here actually, as he's just getting near the end of this lap. We're heading into Lacacia here on this back straightaway. That's that hard 200+ degree radius corner here we see. It's just probably the slowest corner on the racetrack here, as you can see, dropping down almost to 36 miles an hour there. 37, 38 was the slowest we've seen that car get to there in that corner. And then the rest of the corners are, 50, 60 mile an hour corners that require a little bit of control and rhythm. So we'll see what we get to in the chicane here. I believe the chicane is even quicker than Lacacia here. And what are we at there? It's about the same there. About 37 miles an hour we see them drop to in the entry there. So he is up on this lap here. It's about a tenth, a little over a tenth right now, but that's still an improvement. Could grab him several positions if it's as tight as we think it is here, and it's good enough for 18th, so grabs him 1 there. Rock Lee here still holding down in 15th position, and he's up on his lap as he comes up in through Sabadell right now, heading in towards Europe car himself. So big slide coming out of the rear end of that McLaren right there. And he's getting ready to go through Europe car and set up for this final chicane, I believe. Oh, and a huge hit right there. We don't like to see that. You hate to see it. So gonna get that car back to pit lane and have that crew working on it here before race time. And, well, let's see what kind of magic that crew can work for that driver. We got Hi My Name is in 11th position. Josh Hart now in 3rd, so Rapid Duck moving up into 2nd place here recently, and that's Josh Hart now chasing here in 3rd place. Let's stay with Josh Hart, our 4th place driver in the championship standings here, and only, I believe, 4 points in behind Johnny B here coming into today's race. So looking real strong right now is Josh Hart. Alright, we're just heading up in towards, I can't remember the corner name all of a sudden now. What was that corner? Campsa. Right, Campsa. Alright, so very tough corner, the Lacacia, and just such a tight radius. You got to be so patient with that corner, and then you head uphill through Sabadell, and you can go a little bit faster through that corner than you realize because you're heading uphill, but you don't want to push too hard, so you're going to force your car wide into the corner, and that's going to get you all kinds of wrong setting up for this final sector of the racetrack here. We got Rapid Duck just up in front of Josh Hart here as well, and he is almost up 0.4 of a second here. We had a car going around sideways there. Looks like one coming in the pit lane there, and as he comes through there, where is that going to place him? It's good enough for pole position at F1 of 44.280, and he's going to call it right there. He's going to park it. He's happy with that, and right at the end of qualifying, so just under the wire there, he gets that lap in and takes pole position there. So good response from Josh Hart there, and well, ideally that's where you want to be at the start of a 27 GT3 car grid here in Spain. Let me tell you what. Alright, so these drivers are all just coming through here. He's going to not see an improvement there. He's going to stay in 23rd position. We had a whole gaggle of cars go through there. Let's get with Delta Mike here. He's in 26th position. He is up a little bit, so we're going to stick with him here as he heads into Campsa right now. And it's just an uphill sweeping corner. Got to manage your throttle output here so you don't go too wide. And there is sand on the outside of the racetrack there too. It'll slow you down as well. So you got to be cautious coming out of that corner. And it really does set up Lacacia here. And the entry coming into the corner, depending how much speed you're coming through, you're going to lose a lot of time if you get it wrong there. So heading into this bank to Sabadell right now, and it's a banked, I'm not sure what Sabadell would mean, bell style corner maybe, I'm not sure, saddle style corner, but we're just spitballing there. Correct me if I'm wrong for those of us that speak the language here. And whoop, there we go. He's just going to go straight off there. Alright, so that is pretty much qualifying here. What do we got here? We got Josh Hart. He's at a 44.2. Johnny B is only 2/10 in behind. And then it's Rapid Duck 2/10 in behind Johnny B. And then there's a second gap from 4th place. But from 4th through till 12th place is a second separating those 9 drivers. So Fluke is right there with JP, literally a whisker in behind, and Dan's only a couple tenths to Hi My Name Is, whisker between him and Cletus, and then it's 2/10 to Yadcast, and then it's 2/10 to Seal, and a whisker, literally 5/1000ths of a second between Seal and Daughtry here in 10th and 11th, and then 2/10 to Tango 2. So basically a car length in between nose to tail for most of these drivers here as we go through the field. Adrena here in 14th position, Rockley in 15th, and Edward in 16th, Rigo in 17th, McCrank in 18th, Vieira in 19th. A little surprised to see him there. We got Nacho in 20th here. We got Choco in 21st, Pixel of Chaos in 22nd, JDR in 23rd, Philip Young in 24th, Irish Jerry here in 25th, Lamine in 26th. It's going to be Delta Mike in 27th. That's going to place us on the mid-pack for the start of this race. We're not going to say who it is because we don't want to trip him out. We got Paradise coming in with the thumbs up on the stream. Appreciate you, Daniel, my guy. Hope you're doing fantastic as always. You're in bed already, Nolander. Fantastic. At least you got some great viewing there while you relax after a hard day's work, my guy. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, again, this is presented by the Infinite Racing League, partnered with Coach Dave Academy, and I am your host for the evening, GT45 Gaming. So let's get you over to the big screen here. Let's get you to the one that counts the most, the live scene here, so you can see all the action on the racetrack. So basically, all we're going to do now is wait out the clock at this point. So once qualifying is officially finished, we'll get a 3-minute timer. From there, you'll see the drivers jump on track. They'll get lined up in their respective qualifying order, and then we'll see the drivers start to take off single file. Now, that's not the race start for those of us at home that are new to the Assetto Corsa Competizione platform. It is set up for a virtual safety car safety lap to allow the drivers to warm up their tires and brakes a little bit so we can have a nice, cleaner, more efficient race start at the beginning of the race. Elf is no joke with 27 of these cars bearing down into a very fast S sector coming right at the beginning of the race. So you're going to want some air and you're going to heat in those tires. You're going to want a little brake warm up here before you're coming into that braking zone. So we'll see them come out single file in the order they qualified, and we'll see them take a paced lap around the racetrack designated by race control. From there, at about 2/3 of the way around the racetrack or a little more, we'll start to see the drivers line up 2 by 2. In this case, I'm assuming right after that final chicane, as we enter into New Holland, we're going to start seeing race control line these drivers up 2 by 2. And if race control is happy with the lineup on the grid, we'll get a green flag drop for a 1 hour 10-minute race here this evening. Rapid. Funny, you're funny, Killed. Christian coming in with that thumbs up on the stream here as well. Alright, so we're just waiting for our prompt. We're not going to get that prompt till with about 30 seconds remaining. So we just get to stare at the cars lined up on the grid right now while race control does their thing. You're seeing some cars bounce up and down. That's just the drivers putting their race tune into their racing cars. So you have that option for, I think, well, up until the clock runs out. If you don't get that tune in your race car, well, hang on. It's going to be a wild ride, that's for sure. 27 drivers start the grid here tonight. Predictions, chat. How many do you think finish the race here tonight? Typically, we're seeing 4 or 5 retire every race. So if we see all 27 drivers finish this race here tonight, that is amazing. But you know, racing is racing, and these drivers and these cars take damage here in ACC, and sometimes that damage is catastrophic. So here we go, says Josh. Follow it. Hey, appreciate you, Christian. 39 there. 39 there. Appreciate that support, my dude. We appreciate that support. Hey, good luck, Vieira. Have a good race, my guy. We appreciate you, my dude. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we're getting there. We're a minute 20 away here from seeing that virtual safety car lap we're talking about. I'm your host for the evening, GT45 Gaming. Of course, this is a family-friendly broadcast for everybody. Podium interviews might get a little risky at the end. We got no promises. The drivers get pretty excited after a hard, long race here on the set of Corsa, but the broadcast itself is 100% good to go. 1 minute remaining. We're going to get our prompt to go on track here shortly, so we'll get out of 30 seconds here, we'll be able to finally see what's going on the grid, and we're going to be following one of our drivers around the racetrack here. We typically pick this part of the grid just so we can see both the front half and back half of the grid kind of all at the same time here. There's a lot of cars to handle at race start here, and then once we get through that, we will let the production team take over, and we'll just follow where they take us, you know, just go with the flow here. Hopefully we find some great racing action here tonight for everybody. A very long lineup of cars here. You can see our pole sitter here just on the bottom left hand side of the screen, and then the rest of the field is back quite a ways up in behind. So this is a big grid of cars. It's gonna be some fun tonight. Let's go. Good luck looking there. Hey, good luck, says Josh. Alright, here we go. So we're going to see these drivers take off one at a time here, starting with our pole sitter, and then we'll go all the way down through our 27th place driver here today. So this is, I believe, our biggest grid here from the Infinite Racing League in my time working with the group, and I cannot wait to see how this race shakes up. Alright, look at that. Look at that. Just this is going to be a big squiggly worm of cars running around Barcelona. So this is a controlled lap. Typically we're going to see 60, 70 miles an hour out of these cars. We're going to see them swerving side to side like we have the Ferrari driver right here doing. This is just to gain a little bit of heat in the tires. We'll see them speed up really quickly, slow down really hard, and that's just to try and heat up their brake pads and all those other great things for these drivers to try and, again, just build up a little air pressure in those tires, have the braking system working a little bit more efficiently again at the race start, so ideally they can get a good clean run through turns 1 and 2 Elf here as we head into Renault. And oh well, 27 cars, it's going to be spicy, that's for sure. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we're just rocking and rolling. We're going to do a quick stream check here while this is happening before we get to what's going to be a pretty quick 70 minutes of racing action here, I think, tonight. Alright, welcome in Facebook, GT45 Gaming YouTube, and the Infinite Racing League YouTube viewers, whether you're watching live or after it has been recorded and posted up on the channels. We do appreciate your support, and definitely make us do us a favor and hit that like and that share button for us, whether you're, again, watching live or as a recording at your own leisure in your own time. We do appreciate that. A couple free things to help us all grow as channels, and, well, just get more awesome racing action out there to everybody to watch and come and join in on the fun as well. So open to everybody. If you play the platform, instead of Corsa Competizione PlayStation 5 Edition, then the Infinite Racing League is where you want to be. We see it week in and week out. The grids are getting bigger and bigger. Pretty soon it's going to be very hard to find space in these races. It's a stranger alert. Alright, here we go. Mid-pack. We're starting to line up 2x2 here shortly. They're not going to do it, obviously, through the hard part of the racetrack. Two cars don't really fit through the final chicane so well, so we'll see this happen here right after the chicane. So everybody's really going to have to get lined up real quickly here, because they're going to be running out of time. Oh, I take it all back. They're going to make them line up right now. Alright, some tricky navigating here for these drivers 2x2. There's not a lot of room around that chicane, as you can see. That's a beautiful sight, isn't it, right there? Wow, all those cars coming through there. Everybody survived so far. That's fantastic. All right, here we go. And everybody's getting into position here, and Johnny B is going to lead the charge here tonight, our pole sitter. Oh, Josh Hart, pardon me, sorry, our pole sitter, I take it back. And he's going to lead the charge. We're green, and penalties, 33, 4, 30, 989, and 111, all getting a drive-through penalty for breaking the starting speed at the race green flag. 4 drivers immediately slapped the drive-through penalties. Oh boy, and we got a Ferrari spinning on the inside wall, and already things going wrong for some of these drivers here, but look like get a great start here from our number 14 driver right now, and side by side as we head through Elf up into Renault. And oh, we got a driver off in the background there as well. Looks like a McLaren off in the background there, so a couple of drivers having a rough start to the race here. 4 drivers slapped immediately with a drive-through penalty. It looks like Adreno Luke is putting some pressure here on our mid-pack driver. It looks like Fluka off track here as we're coming around, and boy oh boy, the drivers are jockeying hard for position, just trying to stay safe here. It is a very intense when you got 27 cars on the field here. There's a lot going on, and it's just a great little single file action as we head through our mid-pack here on lap 1. Some pretty good stuff here. We had a couple of drivers very early on in trouble there, and some drive-through penalties handed over from race control, but this race will continue here, and we're in for 70 minutes of racing action. Ooh, we got a little bit of a wide entry there, boy. Here we go. Dirty air is going to play a factor here. Obviously, lots of nose-to-tail driving with such a big field. There's going to be traffic for our race leaders at some point within this race, with pit stops out of place and sequences that are different. We're going to see a lot of things happening on the racetrack here this evening in Barcelona. It's a hot racetrack as well, and the drivers are going to have to deal with that and control those tires. So we got Choco here in 27th position here, and I don't see any damage on the race car, maybe just staying out of trouble there a little bit. We got Daughtry here in 12th place, and in this mid-pack single file battle going on here right now, this is a battle of attrition here for all of these drivers. If the driver makes a mistake, you got to be there to take advantage, or you're going to have to settle right back in behind. Alright, Rapid Duck in second place. Josh Hart is in the lead here, so he did hold the lead off race start there, and he is now going to lead the charge here and try to control the pace of this race. But Rapid Duck and Johnny B in second and third place here are going to try and put a stop to that charge here from Josh Hart. All 3 of these drivers are challenging for that championship title here as we head towards the end of this championship fight for our Summer Series version 2. Johnny B is right there tucked in behind. Don't let the live timing fool you here. He's still in third place right now as he comes around, and he is really closing in on Rapid Duck here. We got 2-3 drive-through penalties cleared here as well, so drivers of course answering the call to race control there and being good drivers out there. Gotta love the McLaren. Still trying to find a car that works for me in ACC. It comes down to your settings, my guys. You really do. Go to CoachDaveAcademy.com. Stop and go penalty for speeding in pit lane for number 33 driver, and it just keeps getting worse for that driver here. He's going to have to go back into pit lane and serve yet another penalty. You got to watch that speed limit in pit lane. You got to make sure you got that pit limiter button set, because it really does help in pit lane. Got Dan here in 5th place. His drivers look good all season long. We've got Crank here in 15th, holding strong, and he's got Vieira and Pixel of Chaos are in 16th and 17th place. So Vieira's up 3 positions from his starting point here in the race as well. And Lobby looking a little laggy there. Hopefully we don't get dropped today. We've got Rock here in 18th position, but it is Josh Hart, and right now 1.2 second gap on Rapid Duck there in behind, and you can see there's just a little group of cars trying to chase this very quick McLaren here right now. Pixel of Chaos, he's in 17th, and stick with this for a minute here as we get a little 3-way battle for potential position here as we head up the start-finish line to start lap number 2 in the mid-pack here, and it's a Vieira, Pixel of Chaos, and Crank here. And let's see if we see anything happen coming into Elf and heading into Renault here. We got Ferrari really closing up in front there with Vieira on Crank, but unfortunately we don't have that kind of control in our cameras at the moment right now in spectator mode, so we just kind of got to go where they take us. So we'll do the best we can here, and Vieira's getting a good run coming through Campso there, and a very wide entry into Campso. That's going to cost Pixel a little bit of time coming through that corner. Philip Young here, he's in 24th. He's in it looks like the NSX here, so the only Honda on track. We'd love to see that. JP in 4th place, and we did say look out for this driver today. He was looking very good in free practice here, and he's got that Lamborghini working for him right now. Driver number 111 has cleared their drive-through penalty at race start there as well. So all our drive-through penalties at race start look like they've been cleared here from race control, and now just driver number 33 having to serve the extra penalty for his extracurricular activities in pit lane. Adrenaline Luke here in 9th place, doing real well here so far early on in the top 10. We got Mark coming in with that thumbs up on the stream here as well. We appreciate you, my guy. Alright, so it's Rigo in 14th position here, and been looking pretty solid here today so far. So consistency will be key, obviously, around this racetrack. It's a difficult racetrack. As the track heats up, the tires wear down, the cars are going to want to slide around a little bit more. The drivers are going to have their hands full of points during this race here. We got JDR in 22nd position, and he's getting some open air right now, 6.3 seconds in behind Lamine, so can just cruise. We got Delta in pit lane, stop and go penalty there, 30 seconds stop and go penalty, so that's a doozy. Yes, we could most likely put him a lap down here very early on, but lots of racing left, 1 hour and 4 minutes remaining here. So lots of time to make that up with strategy here. We've got Seal in 9th position. Ooh, Fluke taking a little bit of evasive action up in front there. We're almost 3 wide heading into Elf here. Now it's a 5-way battle, and GLR Seal has just gotten himself heavily involved in the proceedings up ahead here. We got Adrenaline Luke just in behind there as well in 10th place, and this is a battle from 10th to 6th place right now, and this is currently being led by Cletus. Stop and go penalty cleared there from our number 33 driver, and all penalties pending are free and clear here from race control. So great job to our drivers to answer the call very quickly there and just get it done and out of the way. Fluke had taken a look there, but he's not going to make the move. Not enough time there, and he's just going to settle back in line, putting the pressure, showing the nose, seeing how that driver reacts in front. We got some good battling happening here right now. This is turning into a 7-car battle now. As we continue up the racetrack and as we head up in towards campsites. Very strategic driving right now. Nobody wants to make the mistake. The mistake is going to cost you so many positions currently right now in this battle, and the Porsche driver doing a great job at holding off these Lamborghinis and Ferraris in behind for the time being, but having a hard time keeping up with these Ferraris in a straight line as well. So as we head around Lacacia, it is nothing changing here right now in the mid-pack. Some good driving though happening here. I know the moment we leave this battle, something happens, right? That's the way it always goes. Ooh, little wobble coming out of the Porsche driver there, and that's going to cost him a little bit of time. So let's stick with this here just for a minute as we get through the chicane. Fluke had to check up a little bit there, not to get into the back of the other. Look how quickly everybody closes up to each other. It's almost a bottleneck corner right there, and then we get a big gap again here on exits. So that front pack losing the back half of the pack here a little bit, slipstream being broken. You see the driver swerving across the racing line there. That's just to try and break the toe, so to speak, and we're going to have some defensive driving up ahead of Fluke there by Yacast in 7th place. Cletus is just chilling right now. He's like, yeah, you guys keep battling side by side, and oh boy, Yacast gets it wrong sideways, and he's going to lose several positions there as he goes off the racetrack, and there's several cars coming up the racetrack there, and he is back on track there. It looks like he loses about 4 positions for sure, potentially 5. So that's some tough luck right there. Just a great battle inside, and just lost that car underneath him. We got Vieira here in 15th position, and that separated that pack real quick there as everybody had to check up a little bit. And Code Brown moment right there, but everybody looks like they survived all right. Vieira here up at the 15th place, so slowly but surely just picking his way through the field. Pixel of Chaos followed him through, found his way up a position here as well, followed very closely by Nedward. We got Fluka in 7th position here. He's opened up a little gap there on the Porsche driver, but well, getting a little bit wrong there. There could be a track limit violation there from race control, but we don't get to see that information, so we just get to see what the penalty is called. But right now the number 3 driver here looking pretty solid right now in 7th place with lots of racing left. And this battle right here, Nedward, we were just talking about here in a Ferrari, just chilling in behind Pixel of Chaos right now in the slipstream here, 0.6 seconds in behind, and closing up quite a bit there in Lacacia on Pixel of Chaos there. You can see nose to tail almost as they come through there, and Rock Lee starting to close up on this fight here as well, so potentially 4-way battle from 15th through the 18th position developing on the racetrack here as well. We'll be keeping our eye on these battles as time goes on here. We're not going to see a whole lot of forceful pushing from these drivers right now, I don't think currently. I think it's just about management of the race car. We got 2 pit stop strategies, so lots happening here in the race. So it's Yacast here in 11th. We got Daughtry just up ahead in 10th position, trying to chase down Adrenaline Luke in the Lamborghini up ahead there. Lamine here in 22nd position right now, being very closely followed behind by Philip Young in the Honda NSX there as well. Ooh, and Tango 2 going for a little slide coming around the chicane there, and he's going to gather that car up just on the outside edge of the corner there and get back on track. Oh, and another big slide as he comes around New Holland there, so he's going to have some dirty tires. He's going to have to scrub those in a little bit, getting ready for Elf there, but he keeps it underneath of him. That was a great save there by Tango 2. Nacho here in 18th position. He's looking pretty solid here. And 13 seconds to 16th place driver up ahead there. And he's got 6 seconds to Choco in behind in 19th right now on the racetrack. GLR Racer is the driver we started with here, clearing his first of 2 pit stops. So the little orange box in that left-hand side timing screen, ladies and gentlemen, tells us how many pit stops that the drivers still need to make that are required. So if it says 2, that means they'll have 2 required pit stops. Ooh, and we got a Ferrari going around backwards, and oh wow, that was close by Racer. He just sneaks around that car without contact, and again, another Code Brown moment here on a set of course of competition. He does a great job there to react, and gonna have to take a deep breath there to get back into the race. And we got another car around as he comes around the next corner, so picking up 2 free spots there with mistakes made by drivers, and tense moments here on the racetrack in Barcelona right now. Oh my. Choco here in 19th position and looking pretty good here right now, the number 222 driver, and he's got what, 6.6 seconds in behind Nacho Gearbox up in front there. Daughtry coming around there and picking up a position up into 9th place here, so this has been doing very well, slowly but surely just picking his way through the field here, and he has been closing in on Adrenaline Luke here quite well as they're coming around, and looking real solid here so far. So let's see if he can reel in Adrenaline. Let's stick with this driver here just for a minute, as he's really starting to put the pressure on that Lamborghini up in front here, and it is Ferrari versus Lamborghini right now in this developing battle. I wouldn't say it's a battle yet, but Daughtry doing a great job here closing in. Nice tight line coming through the corner there and closes up a little bit more time. So as we head through seat here, let's see if he can close up some more on Adrena here, and great exit by both those drivers. A little wiggle from the Ferrari there. Doesn't seem to cost him too much, so we're going to stick with this for a second. See if we have something happen maybe coming into Lacacia after Campsite. It all depends on what the exit both these drivers get when they come out of the corner here. So here we go, a nice tight line again by Daughtry. It looks like he's got this car dialed in pretty good here tonight for his first race of the season. But Adrena gets a good run here as well. So we're not going to see anything doing here for the time being, but definitely putting some pressure on Lamborghini. A little wiggle coming out of Lacacia there as they head into Sabadell. Let's get back up front and see what's happening here. Josh Hart, 3-second gap right now on second place driver Rapid Duck. And just managing that gap right now, but not really able to lose that driver. We've got Johnny B in 3rd place in behind, and JP still right there in 4th place as well. So what are those time gaps as we come across the line here on lap 7? 1.4 from 2nd to 3rd, and about 1.4 from 3rd to 4th. So fairly similar gaps here. So that just tells us that the pace from these drivers is extremely close here on the racetrack. We got Cletus up in the 6th place here, chasing down Dan right now. McLaren versus McLaren kind of battle here, and he's trying to hold Fluka off in behind, which is the Ferrari driver, and 3 seconds in behind Dan. I think right now the concern is Fluka in behind, 1.3, 1.2 seconds. So managing that gap for the time being, but definitely aware that that Ferrari driver is there. We got Irish Jerry here in 24th. This is one of the McLarens we've seen sideways at the beginning of the race there. This was the second car we've seen have a spin, and you can see a little bit of damage on the right hand side of that race car there and the rear end of that race car. So either making contact with another car or maybe having a little visit with Barriere there, but still on the racetrack, still putting the time here. And what are we down to here? I think we got 26 drivers on track right now. We may have already lost a driver here, retired for the race, but we could be wrong. We'll just wait to verify that. But it is Dan here in 5th place right now, 6.5 seconds from 4th place driver JP, but he's got 2.5 seconds on Cletus right now. So again, doing a good job of just managing the gap here right now. Crank here in 13th, moved up a couple spots since the last time we were on the 93 Sky McLaren driver here, and looking pretty solid right now. Rock Lee is about 4 seconds in behind, and he's closing in on Edward here, just in within a second here as we head in through Lacacia up into Bank de Sabadell. They're eating a lot of curve there as he comes over that first part of the chicane there, the S sector, and gets a nice, good, tidy corner there through Sabadell as we headed through Europe car here and set up for the chicane. Can he close in here? We're still monitoring the gap here. It's still a good, solid second. So Edwards doing a great job here at not allowing Crank to close in and get into that slipstream. The slipstream is just free pull into that driver up front. Doing a pretty good job at managing that so far. So seems like the drivers are starting to settle into the racing conditions here now a little bit as the track. Yeah, it looks pretty good. The drivers are looking very comfortable, and we just got some racing happen. There we go. We got a Needhams here. We still have all 27 drivers on the racetrack. Not sure what's happened to a Needhams here, but our number 90 Sky McLaren driver here. So we got 2 of these beautiful McLarens on the racetrack tonight, sitting in 27th place here on the track, and about 9.2 seconds in behind some lap traffic, so potentially one of those drivers may be hung up early on in the race, and one of those excursions from drivers making mistakes early on. So it is Josh Hart here, and it is 3.4 seconds now to Rapid Duncan, already having to start to deal with a little bit of blue flag traffic. They're getting around Delta Mike in 26th position, so race leaders are already starting to have to manage some of the slower paced drivers on the racetrack here right now, are drivers that have just ran into complications on the racetrack, and it's 12 seconds to the next one up in front, which is Lamine. So we'll see how long it takes. The drivers have to start navigating through the backside of our pack here. We've got Pixel of Chaos still in 15th position. He has given up that position to Rock Lee here, and 3.5 seconds down the road. So just a mistake maybe, or who knows, but I don't see any damage on that car, so we're not seeing contact damage anyways. Philip Young here now up at the 21st position, sitting just in behind Yadcast. Yadcast has cleared 1 of 2 pit stops here though, however, so explains why we see him so far in down through the pack right now. We have JP here in 4th place, and we got Lamine and Delta right side by side there in behind. And that's not a battle for position, but it is a battle for Delta to get that lap back from Lamine and continue on up the racetrack. So still does matter, that position change, and Lamine may have made a mistake there. We see her dropping down the track quite quickly there. We've got Adrena here in 8th place. It still has Daughtry chasing it behind, but the gap now 1.1 seconds, so not quite as close as it was when we were following the 2 drivers just a few minutes ago. But Daughtry's still right there in the rearview mirror and still trying to apply that pressure. We've got Rigo up in the 10th place here. We can see him getting around Lamine. Lamine has some heavy front end damage on that racing Ferrari there, and looking like it's going to limp it to pit lane there. It's bouncing up and down on the front end, so definitely looks like a hard hit there from Lamine. Well, it'll be an emergency service there for that driver. Got JDR here in 24th position. We still got 52 minutes remaining. We're only getting started here. Delta in 26th place, and right now he's got Dan closing in here, the 5th place driver. So he's just going to stay on the outside of the racetrack there. He's going to let that driver get through on the racing line. That was a great job there from Delta, and he's got a few more cars coming yet, so he's going to have to find his spots to let these drivers through. But looking good here so far. Cletus and Fluke are very close together there in 6th and 7th place. So see if we can find that battle here, as they both have to navigate around Delta. Now you can see Cletus trying to get around quite quickly here. If he can cushion a few corners with that car in between him and Fluka. Drive-through penalty to number 774 for track limits, and has to be done within 3 laps. So we'll have to keep our eye on, see which driver that is that just received that from race control. But we do have Cletus now getting around Delta, and you see Fluka using all the slipstream advantage there and doesn't even lose a step on Cletus there. If anything, actually closes in a little bit there with the help of that slipstream. So it helped Fluke close in on 6th place driver Cletus, but Cletus very quickly opening that gap back up. All right, let's see who that driver is. Who's our number 774 driver on track here? Oh, there it is. It is Rock Lee. So newcomer coming in is going to be a drive-through penalty for our 12th place driver there. That's unfortunate for him, and that's going to change his pit strategy slightly here. Now, you don't get to clear one of your pit stops with that drive-through penalty either. That is a separate run through pit lane for that driver. We got Nacho here coming in. This looks like a scheduled pit stop for this driver. We don't see any damage on the racing car. We've got Racer here now coming around in 19th position. This was our 13th place driver when we started the race. This is the driver we followed on race start there, and after clearing a pit stop, we'll gain a couple of positions here as our first sequence of pit stops starts to cycle through the racetrack here. Choco back up into 16th. He's putting in some pressure here on Nedward as they're side by side here. We got a healthy little battle between between these two drivers. Choco's going to send it in deep. Nedward's going to try and get the cut back here, but Choco holds the line, gets the defense going, and he's just going to keep Nedward in behind, but Nedward's definitely applying some pressure. We got GLR Seal just in behind there in 17th position. And we got number 86 getting a drive-through penalty for speeding in pit lane. So race control is just handing out penalties like they're suckers here tonight on the racing track. So they are absolutely meaning business here tonight without a question of a doubt. Got Daughtry here up into 9th place, still chasing Adrenal, losing a little bit of pace. That Lamborghini currently up in front there. And we're trying to find out who that car is. It's going to be Nacho Gearbox here, our our Ferrari driver with the drive-through penalty for speeding in pit lane there. So super unfortunate for that driver. We got Rapid Duck going around Irish Jerry right there, our second place driver, and it's 4.1 seconds now. That gap to Josh Hart in the lead. He's got 2.2 seconds on Johnny B chasing in 3rd place, and this is huge. This could almost make a tie up at the championship point standings heading into round 7. So one more lap for our number 774 driver there to clear that penalty. Is Cletus here in a 5th position as well, and looking real solid here. JP is 10 seconds up the road, but Fluka is tucked right in underneath the tail wing of this McLaren driver here right now, and only 0.4 seconds. So basically one and a half car lengths separating these two drivers here at the moment as they're battling around the racetrack. And as we head into Campsa, the gap is only 0.3 seconds, so 0.3 of a second separating. A little bit of a wide exit there from Cletus, and does that allow Fluka to close in a little bit more? It does. So it's a little loss of traction right there, and that was enough for a 10th there for Fluka, and Fluka is right up again underneath the tail wing of that McLaren here as we head up into Sabadell here for the 11th time tonight, and 48 minutes and 55 seconds remain on that timing clock. So lots of racing left to happen here, and a great entry through Europe car there as we set up for the chicane, and Fluka is going to go a little bit deep into the entry, and that's going to cost Fluka some time there, and it just absolutely corrupted that whole sector there for Fluka, and it's going to be a lot of time there Fluka is going to lose. It's going to be almost 3/4 of a second there, so that's all it takes. Just a little mistakes can cost you a lot of time when the pace is this close here on the racetrack. We got Dan after clearing a pit stop in 20th position. Crank still has 2 stops remaining here, currently sitting in 11th. 86 has cleared that drive-through penalty as well, so Nacho Gearbox has appeased race control there by clearing that penalty and will continue on with their race. Josh Hart here in the lead of this race, and this is our pole sitter. Stole that right in the final dying seconds of qualifying here as well, so now he's coming around, and I'm not sure who that was. Dan just up in front here, 17 seconds up the road. Dan has some pace, so I don't know if we're going to see our race leader catch him or not here. Pixel Chaos sitting in 12th place currently, still has 2 stops remaining. We got Rock coming in to clear that drive-through penalty, I'm assuming, there as well. And Pixel Chaos is just in behind Crank right now in 11th place, so that is a positional car. He's trying to work his way around Lamine in 27th position there as he does go up through the inside there. We got a drive-through penalty cleared. Oh, and a little bit of contact there from Pixel Chaos trying to navigate around Lamine. Now, Lamine didn't do anything wrong there. He just made a little bit of contact, and that just unsettled that racing card. He's going to gather himself back up there, get that thing back on the racing track. And oh, we got NSX out of shape here. Oh, coming into pit lane, sorry. Oh boy, and we got JP off track here. So we just missed a self-induced incident here, and that Lamborghini driver, coming through Europe car there, he gets it wrong, and you can see Cletus and Fluka closing in very quickly, and he's just going to dive into pit lane and sort that racing car out right now. So unfortunate there for JP. Well, to see how much time that costs him here. Drenna also coming into pit lane. Daughtry, I believe, stays out there. We have Rigo in 9th and Vieira now up into 10th place. So Vieira's slowly but surely been chiseling away at this field here, but these drivers still owe 2 pit stops here as well as they're coming around. So it is Rigo in 9th place. He's just up in behind Nacho, who's in 22nd position, there 21st position as he comes around, picks up a spot with somebody in pit lane there. JDR here in 23rd position, and still plenty of racing left to go here today. So we're starting to see a full sequence of pit stops happening here. We got a driver off track there in the runoff zone, and that was Choco there, and he's just going to give up the corner to the hot lap traffic. Great job there by Choco in 15th position, and GLR Seal and Tango 2 battling here. Tango 2 is a blue flag car compared to GLR Seal, hold a lap down to the Porsche driver here, so it does give way, but definitely showing some pace there in that Ferrari. Choco coming into pit lane and behind. That puts Vieira now up into 8th place with some pit stops happening, but again, he is eventually also going to have to opt to go into pit lane at some point here in the race to clear those 2 pit stops. Fluka here in 5th place right now. 2 stops remaining on the racetrack here still as well. Currently sitting in 5th position here on the racetrack. We got Daughtry behind there in 6th place, and really hasn't let Fluka go or Adrena go anywhere there. We have Nedward here in 11th position. We've got Seal in behind in 12th, and the gap is 3.8 seconds here on the racetrack. All right, Yacast here at 15th place. One of the drivers is cleared. You can see several of the drivers clearing their stops now, 1 remaining on their board. Now, when you see a little green box beside their names, that means they have cleared the mandates for the race, and they're good to go to the end if they choose to do so. So when we start seeing green boxes, those are drivers that have made both their pit stops and are potentially probably going to the end of the race. Lamine here in 26th, got Nedward coming in there, going to give Nedward the inside line coming into Lacacia here and doing just a great job at allowing the lead lap traffic through on the racing line here. And Edward gets through unescaped. We got Tango 2 here in 24th position. He's got Adrenal Luke in 13th after clearing a pit stop there. We got Nacho in 20th position, so he's grabbed a couple of spots here on the racing track since clearing that drive-through penalty. We've got the Racer here in 14th, so almost back to where this Racer started right now, 9-10 seconds in behind where the driver started on the racetrack in 13th position. With the Adrenal Luke chase is the driver he's chasing there. We got Choco in 21st position. We've seen a little mistake made there by Choco, and great recognition, and back on track flying here. 5 seconds in behind 7th place driver Vieira right now. Daughtry is in 6th place here, but our top 6 drivers all still looking to make their first pit stops of the race here as well, so we'll be interested to see when it is that they choose to make those pit stops. We've got Rapid Duck here in 2nd place. He's closing in on JP there, who's now in 17th position. So after making a self-induced mistake coming through Europe car there and having to make a pit stop, he's finding himself almost ready to be a lap down to the 2nd place driver Rapid Duck, who he was chasing just a couple laps ago before the incident. Johnny B here in 3rd place, and it's 4.1 seconds to Rapid Duck, and it's about 6.7 seconds to our race leader right now. And this is our current championship points leader coming into round 6 here as well. Cletus in 4th place right now, and Fluka very close in tow here in 5th place. So these 2 drivers have not separated at all over the last several laps here. They seem to be equally paced and just very comfortable driving around each other right now, and they're just chilling, moving and grooving, trying to catch up to the drivers up in front. And the 16 seconds up in front there to Johnny B, Rapid Duck, and Josh Hart right now. Irish Jerry back up at the 18th position here, but still has 2 pit stops to clear here as well on the racetrack as he comes up through Renault there, heading into Repsol, going a little bit wide there, not sure why, just getting set up for this hairpin here potentially. Nice tight line through Repsol there as he heads in towards Seat. We've got Dan here in 15th position right now, and but again has made that pit stop, so it's too early to call really who is going to get the race win here. I mean, Josh, Rapid Duck, and Johnny B are looking very strong here right now early on in the race, but we've seen it time and time again here in IRL and Infinite Racing League Series races where the leaders make those mistakes and all of a sudden it all changes very quickly. So anything is definitely possible here to set a course of competition. This is again PlayStation 5 edition here tonight. So Philip Young here in 22nd position, looking really strong. We got no game sound. Oh, well, let's fix that. I apologize. I don't know how long it's been like that, but there we go. Should be back in action with that game sound. There we go. My apologies, ladies and gentlemen. Got JP here in 17th position. Now again, very quick driver. Rapid Duck's made his way around here, but Rapid Duck will eventually make a pit stop, get that lap back. So he doesn't need to really fret right there. He just needs clean, solid, fast laps. Try to make up that time loss from that incident. Adrena here is in 10th position after making a pit stop here, still with 1 spot pit stop remaining for this driver here as well. So no driver has cleared both stops yet on the race. don't suspect that we're going to see those pit stops probably start happening until about 20 minutes remaining in this race, but we could be wrong. We're seeing some pretty long stints from some of our drivers here. Pixel of Chaos also still owing 2 stops there in 7th place. JDR is here in 21st. So the field's going to be jumbled up here for a little bit now. So we'll just do our best to predict who's going to end up where here as everything starts to sequence out properly. Right, so Vieira has made one of those pit stops, going from 7th to 12th place here on the racetrack so far. So whether or not he's gained or lost there, it's entirely hard to say. We got Cletus and Fluka still very close together here, 4th and 5th place, sorry, all 9/10 of a second in behind us. Fluka is what I was going for there. Ooh, wide exit coming out of Kamsa there. Got to watch those wide exits. Race Control is definitely watching here tonight, and it's been handing out tons of penalties here to these drivers. So you got to keep it mean and clean here in Spain, because there's just no remorse from Race Control here behind the scenes. And as we head up in through Sabadell there, that gap is still 0.91 second between Cletus and Fluka. So Daughtry's just in behind there, 7.5 seconds in behind as well. And then the next positional car looks like it's a little ways away from these drivers here currently. So when are they going to make that first pit stop is the bigger question. It's not this time around as we go with the lap 17 here. Then we're in 8th place here. He's got Delta Mike up in front here. It's a car down a lap here. He's just going to get around on the outside heading into Kamsa there. So that was a great job there by Delta Mike to let him around. We've got Yakast here in 14th position. And one of the drivers we've seen go sideways in a side-by-side battle there. Just lost a car underneath of him. And unfortunately lost a few positions there. But now battling back and up in 14th position. Lamine here has had a tough night, but still going on strong and continuing to put that seat time in, so that's all you can ask for. And, ooh, mistake made there in behind Lamine from Vieira there, and maybe thinking they had to make an evasive maneuver there and just lost her braking a little bit, but tucked right back in behind there, and I'm assuming will make his way around the next available chance. Alright, so it's Tango 2 in behind Adrena here, and he's mixed in with some lead lap traffic here right now, so a lap down to these drivers he's in amongst at the moment on the racetrack. We got Nacho here up in the 19th position, so still continuing to grab positions, but it sees damage on the front end of that racing car. Alright, GLR Racer here currently sitting in 15th position. 3.2 seconds in behind Dan, and he's got about 8 seconds from our race leader, Josh Hart, there in behind right now. Choco in 20th place, cleared 1 of 2 pit stops here so far. And Rockley are the first of our drivers to clear both stops here, so going to come out in 24th position. We got Daughtry coming in for, coming out from his first pit stop here. And that's going to place him down in 17th position. So this was our 7th place driver, dropping down 10 positions with that pit stop there. So it goes to show you how very close these drivers are to each other. We got Duck in pit lane for his first pit stop as well. Johnny B now up in the 2nd place there. He has yet to make his stop. So does Josh Hart. That puts Cletus and Flukas up in the 3rd and 4th place. They both still owing a pit stop. Rapid Duck just in pit lane there, clearing his at the moment right now. Irish Jerry here in 18th position, still owes 2 of those there pit stops as well. And we got Nacho Gearbox and I believe Choco side by side battling here coming into Elf as well. So we're going to stick with this here as Nacho has the inside lane, but that's going to give Choco the inside lane to come back through the second part of Elf. And it does look like Choco gets the job done, but now as we head into Renault here, they're still fighting it out in behind here. Let's see if we can get to that battle here. Hold on. Doesn't want to show it to us. There we go, and Choco does manage to find his way around there. Unfortunately, it took the camera crew too long to find us that battle there, but now we got Choco catching up to Irish. Whoa, there we go. There's an incident on racetrack there, and we have Choco bouncing over the front end of Irish Jerry there, and wow, that didn't look too tasty for either one of those cars. Nacho Gearbox is getting semi-collected there, and he's just trying to get around the racetrack here. So 3-car incident there heading into the corner on lap 18 there, and that's really unfortunate for those 3 racers as they're just having a good healthy 3-way battle for position there. All right, GLR Racer now up into 13th, right back into his starting position here on the racetrack. Choco now in 20th position in behind Irish Jerry there. And Rapid Duck coming up in beside Choco there. I don't know if Choco realized that Duck was there, and a little bit of contact is made, and Duck's going to continue on there. Now he's got to navigate around Delta Mike, and some tense moments here as our second place driver. Just getting caught up there a little bit. I don't think Choco realized that he was inside there, and just making a little touch there. It's Daughtry here in 15th after making his first pit stop, and that could change yet here. And we got Irish Jerry using the bailout lane there as well and hitting into pit lane as Rapid Duck is coming around here. He didn't want to interfere with the lead lap car there, so it was a sensible decision made by that driver. Johnny B's coming out from his first pit stop here now, just as you can see the car getting dropped off the jack and spinning out of pit lane there. So it is Cletus and Fluka now leading the race here in first and second place, and they still owe the pit stops here as well. And it's 27 seconds, it looks like, to Josh Hart, currently sitting in third position there after clearing his first pit stop. So Jerry coming in. We're at the halfway mark of our race here with 35 minutes remaining, just under. Dan is in 11th position right now, and fastest lap for him is a 45.6, but I'm not sure who holds fastest lap on track there. Let's go take a look, assuming he's one of our top 3 drivers up there. Crank in 17th position, so down a couple positions from their starting point on the grid here today as well. We've got Rock Lee here in 24th position and has cleared both the pit stops. So this driver is just looking to make up some time on the racetrack here. I'll have to see how that early pit strategy works out for him. He's probably carrying a fairly heavy fuel load, which means he's going to be putting some heavy wear and tear on those racing tires underneath of him. Rapid Duck and Josh Hart separated by 1.5 seconds here, so pit lane working in favor of Rapid Duck. They're closing up our racing leader, who should resume taking over the race lead once Fluke and Cletus pit up ahead. Pixel Chaos here in 6th position has yet to pit as well here in the race. Philip Young is all the way up into 19th here now, so having a pretty good solid race here, settling into it nicely and behind the wheel of that Honda NSX. Got GLR Seal and Adrenal Loop just up in front. Those are lead lap cars, and stop and go penalty for car number 111 there. Not sure who that was. Irish Jerry with a stop and go 30-second penalty there, handed down by race control. We did miss what the call was for that penalty, but nonetheless a penalty there still for that driver, and that is a stop and go 30-second penalty there. Yacas coming in, going to clear pit stop number 2 here by the looks of it as he comes in. Oh, and Lamine getting it wrong coming out of Euro car, and we've seen a couple of cars struggling right there out of the Exeter Europe car there, and JP was one of those cars. Now we're seeing Lamine having similar issues in the same corner here, and that again, that's going to be another pit stop there for that driver by the looks of it. Nacho here in 23rd, cleared both their stops as well. So we're starting to see some of the pit strategies start to kick in. We're going to look to do 30-minute final stint here are some of these drivers tonight. GLR Racer in 10th position. That puts JP in 11th, 3.5 seconds in behind that driver right now. So that spin from JP may have hurt him a little bit here in position on the racetrack. We got Choco in 18th position. Daughtry is back up into 13th and has Rock Lee chasing him behind, who is a 21st place driver in a blue flag car, technically, to our 13th place driver here. And looking solid right now. 9 seconds in behind Pixel Chaos here in 12th position, who has now cleared their first pit stop here as well. So it's Rapid Duck here in 4th place right now, chasing Josh Hart, still 1.5 seconds, and now a lap car in between the two of them here as well, which works out well for Josh Hart, especially if that car holds Rapid Duck up for an extra corner or two. That could work out really well. We got a car coming out of pit lane there as well. Not sure who that is there as they come around there, but it looks like Yacast in 16th position, just coming out of pit lane there. Rapid Duck's going to be wanting to look at get around McCrank here quite quickly, and he does make that happen as quickly as he safely can there. Johnny B in 3rd place, chasing here and behind it, 7.3 seconds in behind Rapid Duck here right now. Adrena is 3 seconds ahead of Cletus there in 4th place. So Adrena looking real strong here in that Lamborghini. We got Joe coming in with that thumbs up on the stream. Welcome in, my guy. Hope you're doing well. Irish Jerry coming out of pit lane there is going to be in 24th position. I'm not. Oh, that was a stop and go penalty potentially there. That driver was clearing, and I don't know if he cleared it there. It's still up on the board, so I'm not sure what that trip to pit lane was for there. We got Dan in 8th place, was in 5th at the start of this race, so currently down 3 positions from where he started, but looking very strong. Admin checking in. Alright, so it's Crank here at 16th, only down 1 position from his starting point here. You can see 2nd place driver Rapid Duck and Josh Hart, the leader, just gone through a little bit earlier ago there. We've got Rock Lee here in 21st place, and he's chasing 11th place driver Daughtry right now, 2 seconds in behind, but has cleared both their pit stops, so may grab that position, or grab a lap back from that driver. Another penalty coming for driver number 222 there for track limits, and I believe that is, I don't want to say it in case I'm wrong. It was Choco, so Choco now going to have a drive-through penalty for track limit violations here, and drivers are really going to have to be aware of that as this race wears on. As the drivers get tired, the cars get worn out, it's going to be harder and harder to manage those track violation penalties, and you don't want to take too many of them too early on, because then you're not leaving yourself room for error at the end of the race. Pardon me, ladies and gentlemen. So we do have a drive-through and a stop-and-go 30-second penalty on the board here right now to be served by drivers from race control. Alright, so it's Adrena Luke coming through. We got a Lamine coming out of pit lane there, heading into Elf. Gives lots of space for Adrena coming through there in 4th place. Chasing Johnny B, 20.9 seconds in behind, but having a fantastic race here, currently in 4th place. Still owing 1 pit stop, however. Rigo coming into pit lane here in 9th place, looking like he's going to go and clear that final pit stop here. That does look like a scheduled pit stop for that driver. JDR has cleared both their stops. GLR Seal in 13th has cleared both their stops as well. So strategies are starting to come into play as drivers are starting to make their pit stops here. Could potentially be forcing drivers to change their strategies. Choco clearing that drive-through penalty. He is free and clear at his penalty here tonight. GLR Seal in a 13th position. We got Vieira here in 14th and is 10.8 seconds in behind the next positional car, and he has the 2 race leaders in between him and GLR Seal here currently on the racetrack. Fluka right back into 6th place here. Cletus is 3.1 seconds up the road, so Fluka losing a little bit of time in that pit stop sequence there, but still definitely in striking distance if something goes wrong from that 5th place driver up in front. Dan in behind, 3.2 seconds in behind, and JP is 7.7 seconds in behind, 8 seconds in behind Fluka here currently in 8th place. And definitely making some distance up the racetrack. 111 has also cleared their stop and go penalty there as well, so all penalties back cleared up on race control board, and we continue racing here to that checkered flag, with is just under 28 minutes at this point. So it is Yakast here in 16th position, and a settled race here so far tonight, isn't it, ladies and gentlemen? Drivers are really just working hard at trying not to make those mistakes, because the little mistakes have been costing several positions here on the racetrack. Lamine in between Fluka and Dan right now, so that's perfect for Fluka here. Get a lap car in between him and the next opponent. And, ooh, Lamine getting it wrong there, and that's going to allow Dan most likely to get through. And Lamine struggling a little bit here at Barcelona today, and it's a couple times we've seen Lamine go off the racetrack. They're missing a braking point, but you live, you learn. Seat time key, and the driver is getting very valuable experience here, going around for 70 minutes around a very difficult racetrack here tonight. Tango 2 in 19th position, and that is a position for battle between these two here, with Philip Young in the NSX up in front here. So different lines coming through the corner here, and you can see Tango 2 closed up a whole bunch coming out of seat as we head into this uphill S sector here, and that's going to lead us up into CAMSA for the 22nd time here tonight for these two drivers. And the gap is very minimal, 0.3 seconds right now as we head through CAMSA, and the NSX got a much better run there. Philip Young opening the gap back up a couple tenths there as we head into Lacacia. So let's see if we can see some braking distance closed up here from the trailing driver Tango 2. Right now we got Fluka in 6th place, starting to close in on Tango 2, and unfortunately for Tango 2, he's going to have to just get out of the way of this driver here for a minute and let him by. So Fluka is closing in here a little bit, and I'm assuming this is going to happen on the front straightaway here. Very difficult sector. You just got to wait it out here as a lead lap car. You got to be patient sitting behind, but you can see Dan's really closing in there, and Tango 2 is actually going to dive into pit lane there, allowing a free pass for Fluka and Tango 2, or Dan, and probably none too soon for Fluka, as Dan was really starting to close in as Fluka got hung up behind Tango 2 there for a couple of corners extra. Not to Gearbox, 22nd position here. He's got Johnny B just tucked in behind here. You can see lots of drivers have cleared those penalties here now. Oh, and a stop and go penalty for Choco now for speeding in pit lane. So it's just gone from bad to worse for number 222 Ferrari driver there, and he's going to have to answer the call one more time from race control here tonight. GLR Racer here in 13th position, cleared all the pit stops, now trying to ideally look to grab positions on the racetrack. You see Choco here in pit lane. Daughtry here still owes a pit stop, back up into 8th place, and 20 seconds to gap Dan up in front of him right now in 7th position. We've got Rapid Duck here in 2nd place, looking very solid, chasing only Josh Hart here, our race leader. It's only 2.5 seconds, so that gap is increasing very slowly, but definitely not as quickly as I'm sure our race leader would like to see. So you can see a stop and go 30-second penalty served by Choco here, probably next time he comes around the racetrack. And unfortunate there for that driver. Speeding in pit lane was that call there by race control. And boy, this pack is getting tight here. We got some lap traffic and some lead lap traffic all kind of mixed up together here, and Johnny B's right in the thick of the middle of it here. Number 26 driver also speeding in pit lane, going to get a stop and go penalty as well. So boy, here we go again. Race control slapping down some penalties here, and we're going to see Johnny B just navigating around GLR Racer right here at the moment on the racetrack, and that's some great stuff right there. No driver costing themselves any time there. Lots of rooming respect was given, and our 3rd place driver continues on with his race uninterrupted. So it's GLR Racer there in behind, and JP chasing. I believe it was the 14th we've seen there. So it is Cletus and Fluka back in 56th place. The only difference is it's not less than a second. Now it's a 4-second gap between the two drivers. So whenever Cletus did in pit lane, it worked. It gained him a couple seconds, gave him some breathing room, and now the fight is on with that Lamborghini driver up in front of Adreno Luke. So battle for 56th place developing right here between McLaren and Lamborghini at the moment on the racetrack, and we're going to stick with this for a minute here and see if the McLaren can find his way around Adrena here for that 5th place position. You don't want to over battle here, don't want to wear the race car out too early, but at the same time, if you feel like that driver's holding you up, then you got to find your way around. And judging by how quickly Cletus closed up on Adrena here, he may have the better car underneath of him right now, and may very well be looking to do exactly that. Get around as quickly and safely as possible so he can continue on uninterrupted in his race right now. Potentially Adrena could be costing him pace in the racetrack, as they are on different pit strategies potentially here as well. One might have more fuel, one's tires might be worn out. All depends on how they played their pit stop strategies here today, and you can see the McLaren being very patient here in behind right now of Cletus, and there we go, side by side through that chicane, and contact through both parts of the chicane there, and that might be of a benefit to Fluka, as we see Fluka check it up a little bit there, and Fluka is going to go ahead and move up into 4th place there. So we got Cletus just going to come into pit lane here. He's going to sort that out right now since he's right there, clear that final pit stop, and be interesting to see where that all sorts itself out once everybody's cleared their final set of pit stops. So it is kind of shaping up to be potentially a last lap pit stop with some of our drivers here on the racetrack, but we're just shooting in the dark on that. We're just kind of making an assumption based off of what we're seeing here, and a little bit maybe history from some of the drivers we're used to seeing here in Santa Corsa. But it's Crank here in 16th position with 22 minutes remaining. Lots of time here still for the drivers to make up some time lost. We got Rock Lee in 18th position, and where is that next driver? It's a little ways away up ahead of him here as he continues around the racetrack. But it is Josh Hart here leading the way so far tonight, and he's been looking real solid here on the racetrack. So we're just trying to get in. There we go, cockpit view for everybody here as we're coming around into the final corner of New Holland. So let's do an onboard lap here with our race leader. Hope y'all enjoy the sights and sounds from the Santa Corsa here for a refresh on Habit. And there we go, ladies and gentlemen. That is why Josh Hart is leading in this race right now. And that is some absolutely fantastic driving right there by Josh Hart there, making his way around some lap traffic there as well. Very clean, efficient, smart driving here by this driver. And still currently holding a 1.4 second gap on Rapid Duck. So that actually has allowed Rapid Duck to close in a little bit. But now Rapid Duck's got to navigate that Lamborghini in front as well. And we may see that time gap very quickly change back to that 2-second range here again. So Pixel of Chaos here in 16th position, having a pretty strong race for himself here right now. Again, 27 drivers started this race here this evening. We got Philip Young here in 21st position and holding pretty strong here in the Honda NSX, the only one on the racetrack here as well. JP here in that Lamborghini's had great pace all race long, just made a mistake and finding himself down into 11th place here, but there's still drivers that are going to have to make pit stops up in front here, so it's going to be interesting to see how it all works out for a lot of these drivers as we come through our racetrack here. Adrena Luke is in 15th position there with both stops cleared, so on the road to race finish here. Rego's in 10th place with both stops cleared back, I believe, into his starting position here at race start tonight. We got JDR in 18th position here and both stops cleared. Delta Mike still owes a stop here in 23rd position. Oh boy, that Aston Martin got all kinds of squirrely on him there. He manages to keep it underneath him. GLR Seal is good to go here in 9th place, and lots of positions there potentially to be grabbed as drivers still up front looking to have to make a final pit stop here today. Vieira started in 19th position all the way up into 11th place here, so up 8 positions right now on the racetrack himself, looking real strong. Fluke is in 4th place, still owes a pit stop. Nedward here in 8th place still owes a pit stop as well. We got Yakas in 13th, clear and free, good to go. Drive-through penalty cleared here from 296 driver Lamine there from race control as our race leader just goes on through there. Tango 2 in 21st position, both stops cleared here as well. We got Daughtry in 6th place, still owing a pit stop there as well. We have Noctum Gearbox here in 20th. We got GLR Racer here in 22nd. Joko looking like he's serving that stop and go 32nd here right now. There he is, Daughtry here in 6th place. He's 7.9 seconds in behind Dan in 5th place, and both him and Dan still owe that pit stop here as well. Rapid Duck still owes that pit stop here in 2nd place. The gap still only 1.5 seconds from him and the race leader, but as they continue to navigate some traffic here, it's getting very difficult to try and close in on that race leader right now as there continues to be lap cars in between the two of them. Johnny B, much of the same thing. He's starting to come into the heart of that traffic here right now as he's in behind the 23rd place driver. You can see that driver just getting out of his way there, and Johnny B rolls on through. He still owes a pit stop here as well in the race. So Cletus here in 7th place, clear and free. And I mean, it all really comes down to the gap between them and the rest of the drivers up in front here. Daughtry in pit lane there is going to lose that position to Cletus there, and Cletus, unless something happens, shouldn't need to pit again here. We got Irish Jerry in 24th place. We got Dan in 5th place, still has to clear his final stop here as well. So when these drivers are going to choose to stop, we're not sure yet. Crank here up into 14th, but still owing a pit stop here. He's got 20th place driver up in front of him right now. Rock Lee is up into 17th position here now after a very early second pit stop. So he's been on the track for quite some time, maybe 20-25 minutes already in this stint on these racing tires. So could potentially be feeling some wear there, but it is now less than a second between Josh Hart and Rapid Duck here in 1st and 2nd place. And are we going to see similar pit stops here? Are we going to see these guys pit on different laps? What is the strategy? Josh Hart is holding fastest lap on the track here currently right now, the 144.660, but that could potentially change. We got Nedward now up in front of our race leaders here, and we see Josh Hart gets around him there real quickly coming through seat. We got Rapid Duck taking a look there. He's going to have to go a little short on that inside line there as we head up into the S sectors here towards Campsa, and he does get the job done, but he loses some time there to Josh Hart up in front. Gap now 1.1 seconds. So looks like they got an open racetrack up in front here for a little bit now, so let's see if Rapid Duck can close back up on Josh Hart here now. We'll keep in an eye on our race leaders here. Pixel of Chaos here in 16th position. We got Philip Young here in up into 18th position there as they come around the corner, so I'm not sure what we're seeing there, but Still got 26 of our 27 drivers on the grid, so only one car retired here so far tonight. Not too shabby. JP's now up into 9th place here. We got Adrena in 14th. We got JDR here in 17th position. We got Delta here in 26th. GLR Seal here is in 8th place. We've got Vieira here in 10th position. We've got Fluka still owing a pit stop here, currently in 4th place. Dan in 5th place, also owing a pit stop here. We got Edward coming in to clear his final stop of the race here as well, with 14 minutes 10 seconds remaining. So we're getting down to the nitty gritty here, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, so it is Yadcast in 11th position here, and Nacho serving, Choco serving a penalty there. Maybe potentially we see him back in the pit lane there. And Yadcast going to move up into 10th place there, in behind Vieira, who's now moved himself up into 9th position. So 19th to 9th here now for Vieira, and that's 10 positions gained here on the racetrack tonight. That is a good gain. We got Lamine here in 24th. We got Tango here in 19th position. So Tango 2 has grabbed some spots up here as drivers in the pit stop sequences are starting to sort themselves out here. Nacho serving his final pit stop there, I believe. GLR Racer in 20th place here. Choco is chilling right there. We got Daughtry's come out in 13th position, right in behind Adrena, and boy, it is closer. Almost giving Adrena a push around the corner there as he closes up real close. Pixel Chaos just in behind, and this is a three-way positional battle here between these three racers right now, but the closer battle is between Daughtry and Adrena here right now, and there is also Crank just up ahead as well, but that driver's still owing a pit stop, so whether or not these drivers are aware of that is a completely different story, but potentially a four-way battle for 11th through 14th position here right now, and the closer the four cars is definitely Daughtry and Adrena right now, as the gap is only half a second, but Adrena is closing up very quickly up to the back end of the McLaren of Crank here in 14th position as well. Oh, Crank gets it wrong. Adrena has to check up. Daughtry is going to close up, and it is going to be 3 positions lost there for Crank as he loses 1 to Adrena, Daughtry, and Pixel of Chaos. As whatever happened there, he gets around and drops 3 immediate positions. So here we go as we're coming around the chicane here. It's Daughtry and Adrena. We got Delta Mike now factoring in another car up ahead, and it's still very close here between these 4 drivers, and McCrank's still owing a pit stop, so has not gone around to serve that yet, and nothing doing here right now on the racetrack, so we'll come back to that. Rapid Duck 1.5 seconds in behind Josh Hart. Both these drivers still owe a pit stop here yet as well. Johnny B in 3rd place owes one as well here, and finding himself 10 seconds in behind Rapid Duck right now on the racetrack. So it's Cletus here in 6th position, Irish Jerry in 22nd place, and some drivers up ahead that got to make a pit stop, but those are drivers that are a lap ahead of our 22nd place driver there. So it's Dan here in 5th place, and what is this, 23.2 second gap to 6th place driver Cletus here right now. Is it enough to hold the position? We're about to find out at some point here in the race. Crank here in 14th position, still owing a pit stop here as well, so he will have to make that second stop at some point in the race. Here we got Rockley now up another position in 16th position, so slow and steady, just crawling up that field here, but it is our race leader here, Josh Hart, opening the gap back up to Rapid Duck here a little bit. 1.7, we've seen it there for a second, and these drivers are not going to pitch yet, so the big question is, are they going to pit at the same time? That's kind of what I'm waiting to see. Pixel of Chaos here in 13th position, still trying to chase down Daughtry up in front, 1.2 seconds. That's about 1.4 seconds from Daughtry to Adrena up in front there for 11th position as well. So lots of little battles starting to develop on the racetrack here. Philip Young chilling right now in 18th place, doesn't have to worry about too much right now, but just not making any mistakes on the racetrack. We didn't mean to skip over there. We got JP here back up into 8th place, so 4th place was his best position here tonight. Now he's found his way back up into 8th, and he's starting to put some pressure on the Porsche driver up in front there as well, GLR Seal. So maybe a potential battle for position there for those 2 drivers before the end of the race here with just over 10 minutes remaining. And Adrena is 2 seconds up the road here from Daughtry now, and closing in on Lamine here as we come into Elf. Has to check up a little bit there as just in a tough sector of the racetrack here, and has to find their way around this lap car here. So Adrena again finding and checking up here a little bit here. This is a tough spot here. It's costing Adrena time to Daughtry up in behind here right now. Lamine's going to give Adrena the position coming into the corner there. Just broke a little bit extra. Adrena manages to get around there. So it is Daughtry closing in though. JDR here in 17th position. We got Delta here in 23rd place. We got GLR Seal trying to hold off JP here. We're going to stick with this for a minute now as well, as this is a very close 2-car length gap right now between this Lamborghini and the Porsche driver here. JP is right tucked underneath that tail fin of that Porsche on exit here of Lacacia. And as we're heading into Bank de Sabadell there, we do have Philip Young up in front, which is going to be a blue flag situation here as well. So while these two are battling, we have a blue flag car coming into play here as we head through Europe car for the 32nd time here tonight, and 9 minutes on the clock. It is GLR Seal holding off JP for the time being and gets a good run through there. JP goes wide, and that's going to cost JP some time and give just a small amount of breathing room to GLR Seal for the time being. Vieira here in 9th position has Yakaz 3.4 seconds in behind, and no immediate pressure there at the moment. Fluka still going to owe a pit stop here in 4th place currently, and it's going to be about a 19-second gap to Dan in behind. Is it enough? We don't know, but Dan also owing a pit stop still here in behind as well. Nedward in 14th position, looking real solid here. We got Yakast here in 10th, 3.2 seconds down the road from Vieira, and has 11 seconds on Adrena up in front there. What else we got? Nothing too much happening here right now. Choco in pit lane here. We got Daughtry in 12th, still 2 seconds in behind. Adrena has got 2 seconds to Pixel of Chaos in behind him right now, looking pretty comfortable here in 12th place. Our race leaders still separated by about 1.7 seconds here. 2.1 seconds there as we come into Lacacia. So 1.5 is that gap here as we head into Sabadell, so not too much change in there. Johnny B's clearing his pit stop here. He's got that out of the way now, and he is going to settle in just behind Dan here in 4th place, but Dan still owing a pit stop there as well, so no need for Johnny B to be fretting there. I'm sure his team is communicating that information to him there. Fluke is going to come out for his pit stop, and it's going to be just in behind Cletus there. Cletus is just going to scoop that position back up from Fluke after having to make that pit stop there, and it's going to be Fluke chasing Cletus here. We've seen that pretty much all race long, as a matter of fact, between those two drivers here, so not too much changing there. That just goes to show how evenly paced those two drivers have been over 63 minutes of racing. So Dan now does need to make that pit stop. He's only got 9 seconds to Johnny B, 22 to Cletus, and 23 to Fluke. May potentially lose 3 positions here. Depends what kind of pit stop that driver chooses to make. Crank here in 15th position. Rockley in 16th, 5.3 seconds in behind. Nothing too happening right now in between those two, but these two give a little, take a little right now between Josh Hart and Rapid Duck. Rapid Duck has that gap closing back up here again. The bigger question is, when are we going to see pit stops from our race leaders here? Let's sit with Josh Hart here for the time being. Still fastest man on the racetrack, still holding down that bonus point here on the racetrack, and bonus points are crucial when the championship points battle is as tight as it is here. So a race win here tonight would really give him a good chance of getting right into that top spot. Only 1 point in behind Johnny B after the race is said and done here tonight, and Rapid Duck may very well be tied for second place or first place overall in the championship standings with Johnny B, depending on how the points shake out here tonight. That's, I think, how it's going to work out if it finishes exactly how it sits on track right now. But Rapid Duck is definitely trying to change that scenario up and take over the overall championship lead here with a race win tonight. He's definitely pushing, but Josh Hart just managing that gap enough not to let him into that fight here. Pixel of Chaos in 13th, losing a little bit of time to Daughtry in front there. Philip Young here now in 18th position and just chilling. JP 5 seconds on Vieira there in 8th place, and quite a bit of a gap on the next positional driver up in front right now. So 7th place may be the best he'll see here tonight, but we'll wait and see. Adrena in 11th place, Daughtry very close in behind, 3 seconds in behind in 12th place. Adrena doing a great job of just opening that gap up a little bit, giving a little cushion to that driver here before the end of the race. Just under 5 minutes remaining here now, so we're going to see about 4 more laps from our front runners, I think. Delta Mike here in 23, and he has Philip Young coming up the inside here, and Philip Young's just gonna hold strong but make a mistake. Oh, and a braking error there from the Aston Martin as well, so 2 mistakes made there, and one driver finding himself facing the sand trap there. So we got GLR Seal just coming around that point there right now, and you can see the fans are reacting to that little spin at the end of Repsol there as well. You can see they look pretty excited about that there. We got Vieira here in 9th position and has just gotten around. Yeah, Cass there in 8th, so the live timing just has not swapped there. So Vieira sitting in 8th place here currently, and I'm not sure why they haven't changed the live timing here yet, but it is what it is. 6.4 seconds down in behind JP. Fluke is in 5th place here, and what is the gap to Cletus right now? About a second. Yeah, half a second in between the 2 cars here. So Fluke is starting again to try and apply pressure here to Cletus, and we've seen this story here a few times tonight as well as we head into L for the 36th time here in tonight's race, and it is battle on between these two, and this might be a little more of an intense battle now as the race is very quickly drawing to an end here. About 2, maybe 3 laps remaining. Edward getting it wrong there in 14th, but again he's kind of in no man's land there, so nothing to worry about. Driver number 43 with a drive-through penalty there, and that has to be served before the end of the race. You definitely want to serve that penalty before the race ends, so I imagine we'll be seeing that driver dip in relatively quickly, and it's PP Yakas having to serve that penalty from 9th position, so that is devastating for that driver's race there. How many positions is it going to cost? We're about to find out, but Rapid Duck now clearing their pit stop there. That's Adrena Luke coming around there, and not even going to try and get around Rapid there. Oh, Rapid is just trying to get through there. Adrena giving lots of respect and space there to Rapid Duck, the 2nd place driver. Great job to Adrena there, realizing the situation at hand and just didn't force anything there, didn't want to get involved. Josh Hart still owes pit stop here. It's Cletus in 4th position right now and holding strong against Fluka here. That gap is 1.1 seconds currently, so some earlier pit stops seem to be paying off as opposed to these later pit stops, but again, it depends on the gap that the drivers have created throughout this race here. Hey, what's up, Paul? How you doing, my dude? This looks like it's a lot of fun. 27 cars started this race here this evening. We still got 26 on track, so yeah, good job here by this massive field of cars in Santa Corsa tonight. It's Dan here in 6th place, looking real solid. Crank here's in 15th. I believe this is where this driver started, so right in their starting position, and no positional cars up in front. Definitely has one in behind, 8.7 seconds back with Rock Lee. So there we go, our race leader coming into pit lane here, and let's see how that settles out for him. Rapid Duck making his stop just a lap before that as well, but had a little bit of an issue getting through L for the first time. May have cost him some valuable time there. Pixel of Chaos in 13th position, losing touch with Adrena and Daughtry up in front there now, 5.2 seconds in behind. Philip Young here again, still in no man's land, just chilling, looking for an 18th place finish here today. JP here in 7th place. Dan is 10 seconds up the road. Vieira is 6.6 seconds in behind. He's got a couple of blue flag cars up in front of him to navigate there. We've got Adrena here just tucked in behind Rapid Duck, who is now our 1st place driver. So Rapid Duck has made the undercut work. It has taken over the race lead here over Josh Hart. Josh Hart is 2.1 seconds in behind Rapid Duck here, and that is what Rapid Duck needed. That's what he was looking for, and if he can hold this race finish here, that should be enough for Rapid Duck to take over the championship points lead going into next week's round. It is going to be so tight at the end of this season. Hey, appreciate you, Paul. We appreciate you. We appreciate that coming from you, knowing what you do for a living, my guy. We really do. We got Rigo here in 21st position. We got JDR here in 17th. We've got Delta in 23rd position. But, wow, undercut working to perfection right there for Rapid Duck. And Josh Hart, he's got some lap traffic to deal with here with GLR Seal and Adrena Luke, and this is a complicated situation for Josh Hart here right now because this is also a positional battle between these 2 cars. So Seal in 10th place, trying to do everything he can to hold off Adrena. Adrena's going to get the inside line, going to get the job done, gets it done. And Daughtry looks like he was went wide and behind there into the corner as I think he was trying to let Josh Hart through potentially. So now Josh Hart's got to navigate this. Adrena picks up another spot there in the 10th place. GLR Seal here drops down into 11th. Josh Hart now needs to navigate GLR Seal here. This could be an opportunity for Daughtry to close in and try to fight GLR Seal for 11th place here. And oh boy, the race is coming so close to an end. And there it is. It's going to be Rapid Duck with the race win here. It's going to be Josh Hart in second here. It's going to be GLR Seal in 11th and Daughtry in 12th position. It's going to be, let's go to the garage so we can get a proper look at everybody coming through here, as everybody's so spread out right now on the racetrack. It's really hard to follow it. So Johnny B here, he's going to come around. It's going to be a third place finish here for Johnny B as he's just coming around Europe car there. Looks like Lamine made a mistake in front of him there, and she's just coming around the chicane. Tango 2 in behind and Edward in behind there. Lamine's just going to try and stay out of the way of Johnny B as he comes around there. And it's going to be a third place finish here for Johnny B. This is our championship points leader coming into the round here today. Strong finish for him. Well, we'll have to see what he has to say in podium interviews here. We got Cletus coming around in fourth place. Fluka right underneath the tail fin here, and Fluka has been working hard all race long trying to find an answer to Cletus, and it is coming down to the final corner here. Who's going to get the better run through New Holland? And it does look like it's going to be Cletus here to get the job done. Can he hold Fluka off? She's in. Fluka's in the slip, but Fluka's not going to have enough, and it's going to be Cletus there in fourth place. Fluka very close in behind there in fifth place, and that was some great battling between those two all race long. Dan's going to bring it home here. It's going to be a sixth place finish here for this driver. It's a great racing result here for Dan again this week in round 6, and as he brings it around New Holland for the final time here tonight as well, it's going to be a sixth place finish for this driver, so definitely nothing to complain about there. He seems to be pretty pleased with that result. It's going to be JP coming around here in 7th place. Got a couple cars up in front there coming across to finish their races as well. He's flashing those headlights, so he seems very pleased with that. Vieira moving up from 19th position on the race grid here to 8th place for tonight in tonight's race. He's going to pick up 11 positions in the race tonight, and if there's a driver of the day award, I think it definitely belongs to Soroder Vieira here, because that was a very, very great drive here by this Ferrari driver. He did not look good in qualifying, but boy, sure looked really, really solid under racing conditions here tonight, and that was a very well done job here by Vieira in 8th place. Alright, so let's go take a look here. It's going to be Rapid Duck with the race win. It's going to be Josh Hart in 2nd place. The undercut working out for Rapid Duck there, and well, didn't see that coming, but fastest lap does go to Josh Hart. Johnny B is going to finish in 3rd place with Cletus in 4th position. It's going to be Fluka in 5th, Dan in 6th. JP will finish in 7th. Vieira here in 8th place. Adrena's going to finish in 9th with Seal right behind there in 10th position. Daughtry in 11th place. Pixel of Chaos here in 12th. PP Yadcast in 13th. It's going to be Nedward in 14th. McCrank in 15th position. Rock Lee is going to come home in 16th with JDR behind in 17th position. Philip Young will finish 18th on the grid here. The only Honda car on the grid tonight. Good job for him. Tango 2 in 19th, and GLR Racer starting in 13th. Going to finish in 20th, dropping 7 positions here in the race. Unfortunate for him, but still nonetheless, points are points. Rigo here in 21st position. Irish Jerry in 22nd. Delta Mike in 23rd. Lamine is going to finish 24th here. It's going to be Nacho Gearbox in 25th place, Choco in 26th, and Needham's in 27th place. And hi, my name is not even getting on the race start here in 28th position here today, and that is unfortunate for that driver because he has looked absolutely great all season long. So 28 start, 25 finish here tonight. That is a GG to all our racers here on the racetrack this evening. So we're going to flip you over screens. We're going to go get ready for some podium interviews. Oh yeah.
Chase to the sundown. We on the chase to the sun up. What's up? Leading the line when we run up. Chasing, chasing, chasing. Every day we chasing, chasing, chasing. No time to be wasted. Look. next diamond. Hard work pays off, that's perfect timing. Changing the world with this rhyming is priceless. We got the nicest by putting the time in. Can't be the greatest, I'm not even trying. What now? We on the chase to the sundown. We on the chase to the sun up. What's up? Leading the line when we run up. Chasing, chasing, chasing. Every day we chasing, chasing, chasing. No time to be wasted. What now? We on the chase to the sun up. What's up? Leading the line when we run up. What now? We on the chase to the sun up. What's up? Leading the line when we run up.
Hello? Man, I lost track of time. I apologize, Mama. Go ahead and eat without me. I'm still on the grind.
I ain't touching home base by dinner time. All I can see is the finish line. Started, I gotta finish mine. It's get it time, anytime, hella long. I've been in line, I didn't mind it all. Wake and bake, won't take a break at all. That's on my word, my boss. Naming lights, gon' have to pay me twice or pay me no mind, and I don't mind it all. My grind is green, I am my job to inspire. I'm right behind Gote, line has been fired by a chain for a time. I ain't get hired, second week kicked in, I probably won't get tired. Kevin Gates or Kevin Bacon, only 6 degrees of separation between me and the next level of elevation. Perseverance, the art of dedication.
What now? We on the chase to the sundown. We on the chase to the sun up. What's up? Leading the line when we run up. Chasing, chasing, chasing. Every day we chasing, chasing, chasing. No time to be wasted.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, so we do have our third place finisher in the booth with us here tonight. And oops, I had to hit the wrong button. There we go. We'll get it working eventually. Here we go. All right, so we do have our, I believe, our championship points leader coming into round 6, Barcelona here tonight, Johnny B, and our third place finisher here in the race tonight, and had a really good, solid race for himself here, but just didn't quite have enough in the tank there to have an answer for Josh or Rapid Duck here today, and a little bit of pit strategy, turning things upside down there, and actually putting Rapid Duck in across the start-finish line in first place here tonight, and boy, oh boy, that puts some pressure here on our current championship points leader, Johnny B. So congratulations on a really hard-fought battle here tonight and a third-place finish, and talk us through your race here this evening.
Struggled tonight, all in all. Didn't have the qualifying effort I was looking for, so started on the outside and let Duck get by me, I think in turn 3, maybe. And then I kind of burned my tires out trying to stay on his bumper, and then got a little frustrated and ate my tires up more. So not a bad race. Like, I'm happy to take the podium. I do believe that'll put Duck in the lead by 1 point after this. But yeah, it wasn't so bad. And I screwed up on my second pit stop. Supposed to be a 1 liter splash and go, and I accidentally took tires, adding 30 seconds to the whole, 27 seconds to the whole thing. But, you know, get a podium. You can't be too upset about it, but I would have liked to have done a little better.
Absolutely, and I mean with Josh Hart coming in second place and also grabbing up that fastest lap there as well here in the race tonight, that's really going to put that only puts him, I believe, 1 point in behind you coming into next week's round. Of course, you know, pending official results here, ladies and gentlemen. But you know, so with two racing rounds left to go, the pressure is on. I mean, you know, how do you move forward now? What's the thought process? Is it just put in extra time, or is it hope that, you know, it's a track that suits you really well in your car? I mean, what's going through your mind right now?
Yeah, just got to put the time in. Unfortunately, I was under the weather all week, so I didn't get a chance to put in too many laps. Still under the weather. I sound terrible. So yeah, you just got to put the work in. I like the last 2 circuits. I think we have Watkins Glen and then Nürburgring, which the finale at Nürburgring I'm really confident in. Watkins Glen, I got to do some work. It's not a bad track for me, but got to put a little work. But yeah, we're going to get back to practicing and try to clean it up for these last couple races.
Absolutely, and we make note that Watkins Glen is next on the schedule. I mean, that's a great racing racetrack here in the United States of America. But, with that being said, it has some pretty risky sectors in the racetrack at extremely high speeds. And with the size of the grids we've been seeing here as the series grows older here, does that weigh on your mind a little bit too as well, navigating more traffic on a very high speed racetrack? I mean, do those things cross your mind as you're preparing for a race week as well?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And yeah, with today's grid being as big as it was, the traffic got a bit hectic at times. But it's going to definitely add an importance on qualifying and get that track position early, because if you're behind and then you get caught up at all with lap traffic, you're just falling further and further behind, right? So yeah, just got to increase the importance on qualifying, jump out to a lead, or at least decent track position to begin with, and we'll go from there and just try to be smooth and patient and get it done.
Absolutely, and of course, defending champion here from GT Summer Series 1, MX Blocks. I'm not in the grid here today, so kind of just offering up that championship trophy between you and Josh and Rapid Duck here on the grid here. So, I mean, who's your biggest worry out of the two drivers right now? They're both incredibly quick. You're all very equally paced. I mean, which one of the two is definitely the one you're most worried about here for the last couple of weeks of racing?
I mean, I'm worried about both of them. And as far as Bloxham goes, we do get one drop round in the season, and I believe myself, Duck, and Josh Hart all had missed a race already, so our drop round was used up. And MX still had his available, so this shouldn't really hurt him. Actually, he'll be right there still, I would think. But yeah, and I mean, they're all three scared. I tell you what, Josh Hart's pace has been incredible though the last couple races. Like, I mean, his qualifying efforts are wild. It takes your best lap to get in front of him. So, but Duck's wildly consistent, Bloxham's wildly consistent. So, all three of them are a threat, and I just got to go out and do what I need to do to be better than them on any of the given days remaining.
Absolutely. I mean, it's I guess you can't ask for anything better. I mean, 2 weeks remaining in the championship series, and the top three, four contenders, really a handful of drivers still could grab that trophy and call themselves GT Summer Series 2 champions here this season. So we know Johnny B wants it. He definitely wants to get that title back in his hands so he can defend it, but he has a task ahead of him, ladies and gentlemen. So, I mean, congratulations on a great race here tonight. It was tough out there. The lap traffic definitely played a factor into the race at points in the lead. We are seeing gaps get closed up and opened up because of the lap traffic. So, in a sense, it's almost like multi-class racing when you have such different skill levels of drivers and drivers making mistakes early on in the race, forcing different pit strategies. So, definitely going to factor in here at Watkins Glen as well, I think. But great racing from you here tonight. And I guess any final remarks and shout outs and thank yous you want to throw out to the viewers watching at home here?
No, thanks as always to IRL for putting on a great event. It's always fun, even when it's frustrating. After the race, you can always look back and at least say it was a fun event to be in. And thank you to yourself for being on the call. I can't wait to watch it back, as I do most Sunday nights or Monday mornings. So I appreciate it, and we'll see you next week.
Oh, well, I definitely love talking to you week in and week out here, and hopefully this trend continues over the next couple of weeks as you try to re-secure that championship title back. But can't wait to see what you got at Watkins Glen, and well, ladies and gentlemen, definitely want to tune in next weekend at 7:45 p.m. Eastern time, because it's going to be a doozy at the Glen. And congratulations, and we'll let you get back to that clubhouse and go celebrate with the team there.
Cool. Thank you, sir.
All right, let me go take a quick peek in the booth here, and it doesn't look like Duck is going to join us here tonight, which is all fine and dandy. That is cool. So let's just recap what went on here tonight. We had a 70-minute endurance race here in Barcelona, Spain, and the standings between a handful of drivers were only separated by 5 points. Those standings have now only gotten tighter. Now, as Johnny B touched on, a drop round has not been factored in for MX Bloxham defending champion yet, which still leaves him in this fight with 2 weeks remaining. We've got Watkins Glen and the Nürburgring GP circuits left, and we all know that Watkins Glen is going to be a doozy next week. So definitely mark it on the calendars, ladies and gentlemen, because Watkins Glen is going to be very high paced and it's going to be very chaotic. There's going to be lots of things happening just like there was tonight, and if the grid sizes is any indication of what we're up against next week, we could have a full stack of drivers. So GG's to our new faces this week. We had, I think it was about 5 new drivers pop in this week. They look very good on the racetrack, all finished very well in the top half of the racing grid here tonight. And to those that returned from last week, welcome back. And to those of us that are continuing week in and week out, season through season, just providing great racing and improvement from each driver. So on behalf of the Infinite Racing League and of course Coach Dave Academy, I'd like to say thank you for tuning in this evening. We hope everybody enjoyed the racing action here from Spain tonight. It was hot on that racetrack. Some racing tires definitely got shredded here tonight, and some racing cars, well, are limping home here, but they'll have those things ready next week and back on track, and these drivers will be giving it 110% here again for everybody watching at home. I just want to say thank you for tuning in. Thanks for the likes, shares, the comments. Thanks for hanging out with us. We always appreciate it. And if you haven't liked or shared it on the way out, if you wouldn't mind doing so, that'd be beautiful. It's just a couple free things to help us grow, and we appreciate all the support over on the Facebook and YouTube channels. I'm your host for the evening, GT45 Gaming. Gonna take one quick little last peek at the box. Yeah, we're good. And we're gonna call it a night. So we will be back live tomorrow at 9:15 p.m. Eastern Time for Roving Island World Tour 2 round number 7, as we're starting to get near the run for the championship title over in that neck of the woods here at GT45 Gaming as well. So we appreciate y'all. We love y'all. John, you are 100% right. That P4 to P5 battle was pretty exciting, super close. Another 100 yards or less might have made a difference. Well, certainly would have been a drag race to the finish line. We appreciate all the legends coming in. Let's go quickly catch up on alerts just in case we didn't get one there that we saw. We got Paul coming in with that heart on the stream over on Facebook. We appreciate you. Mark coming in with that thumbs up on the stream as well. I think we caught that already. So we appreciate everybody. Love you over there on the YouTube channels as well. And well, we'll see you on the next one. Remember, you all matter. Stay winning. And do a good deed for somebody this week. That's what I challenge all our racers to do this week. One good deed for a random stranger this week. I challenge each and every one of our sim racers to that said challenge. And have yourselves a fantastic work week.
Hey kid, don't ever let them get inside your head. They'll tell you what to do in life instead of everything you know that you could get. Don't let them guide your life towards regret. I'll fight for what I love with every breath. My past is filled with things I won't forget. I use them all to push me to my best. So treat the worst of times just like a test. If only I could go back in time, I'd tell myself that everything will end up alright. Just push yourself, test yourself, figure out what you like, and find your limits, don't be rigid, always work towards a prime. Surround yourself with open minds, people can change your life. A few friends with intent can help you feel alive. Find a passion, take some action, and with a little time, just be patient, make a statement, try to enjoy your life. They'll try to kick you while you're down. They wanna rise up while you drown. They wanna fill your head with doubt. They're silently scared that you'll figure it out.